Hangout is on air live. Look out. Look out.
Yeah.
We're on air live.
We're on air live.
Maybe, actually, look, swap that chair out and pull one of those over there a bit higher. I was having fun deliberately making AIDzee be, 6 inches shorter than me,
Yeah,
but it looked a bit silly.
Because we like that. Because, AIDzee is a bit shorter than... I see it still works.
There you go.
It still works because I'm still shorter than...
Yep.
Shorter than Angry.
So, okay, now what we got to do is, I always have a bit of trouble working this out. We've got to go to my channel, I think. And wait a sec, I'll do that first. So we're just warming up. So, you feel free to tell people what we're doing. And
hi, peeps. What we're doing is we're doing a live broadcast from Studio Angry. And whilst we're doing it,
Yep. No, I'm just I'm trying to get a thing where we will see the chat. And I think we've got it happening. Oh wait, look. Oh no. Okay, right. Because now you'll notice the fun thing, AIDzee. There's a 10-second delay in this. So
oh wow.
So we get to say hi to Patman Sport and Lucy.
Hi, Patman Sport and Lucy.
Yeah. So we've worked that out. I have to go here to be able to see this live chat. But the video can be really distracting because there's actually a 10-second delay on there. Is that going to make like your Aspie brain just like...
That's going to make my Aspie brain explode.
I'm not sure if we can just make it so...
And I also note that the mirroring effect of the camera has been...
oh wait, pop out chat.
Pop out chat.
That's what we want to do. Oh, I love the little ninja there. Nothing to see here. We put it now. We might be able to. This might be the best of both worlds. Ah, look at that. It's the chats there, and we're actually seeing ourselves in real time, so it's less confusing.
We are seeing ourselves in real time.
There you go. Okay.
It's less confusing.
I'm learning something every time I do this.
I am loving the fact that you're learning every time.
So
it is, and also we've got the mirror effect because usually when you see something on video, if I point that way, it's actually pointing at the top left of the screen, right? But when you do something on camera, and also I've got to look at the dot.
Yeah, the dot.
I've got to look at the dot, and I'm not talking about a genital. When I say looking at the dot, I'm looking at the dot on the laptop, because that's where the camera is. Right, when I look there, I'm looking at my eyes, but it looks like I'm looking below your eyes. But if I look there, I'm looking right down the barrel. Yeah. And it's like, hey, how are you doing?
It's very tempting to see yourself. You're distracted by the look of yourself. And so
especially since I got new teeth.
Yes, and he's finally here with teeth. So I've got to say hello to my lovely Dame and Russell. And
Dame
Philosopher.
And Philosopher.
So yeah, and yes, I'm not surprised it looks a bit blurry, because it tends to be sort of low bandwidth on the live stream, so it's not exactly HD.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
We struggle on.
You're right.
Sometimes
you put a body in a wood chipper. Yeah, but there's CSI techniques now to basically stop that. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Best way is to get basically cold slurry from mine and just plop. In they go, and they get ground up over time. The hydrocarbons basically take away the DNA, and you find, is this something that was a chat between you and me, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
It wasn't a chat between...
Lucy wants to know if we're high. I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'm not technically high.
Technically.
But what happened was I took my medication late last night. So when I woke up this morning, I was still a little bit dopey, and I slept very badly last night, so I might appear a little bit occasionally, and occasionally I might trip over words, but that's also because of the new teeth.
I'm trying. My God, they look good on camera.
I know, right? So, like, Okay.
That freaked me the fuck out, actually.
For 15 years, I've had the worst teeth ever. Okay, literally the worst teeth ever.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, right, I was 13 years old, and we noticed a crack in one of my teeth. My dentist noticed this crack. And he said,
Rebel people with a story. Hang on.
Okay,
you gotta let me up. So move it a little bit and then move back in.
I
think the light's too harsh. I'm gonna try and moderate it. You keep talking.
Okay, so when I was 13 years old, a dentist noticed a crack in my teeth, and he said, "You've got to go to the orthodontist." And so I went off to the orthodontist with my mum, and my orthodontist, I only saw the guy once. The orthodontist said, "Listen, buddy, your teeth are going to grow together and crack. Okay, now you can clean the outside of them, but they're going to crack on the inside, and stuff's going to get in and rot them. Okay, and you can have braces now, but it's going to cost a lot and take a long time." So I went home to my dad and said, "Hey, Dad, maybe I need braces." And he said, "How much is it going to cost?" And basically the price of a small car. And he said, "Can you chew?" And I went, "Yes." And he said, "You don't need braces." And so I went, "Oh, thanks for that." And then the next year he bought a boat. Just saying. And then basically from then on in, what happened was my teeth grew together and cracked. And then what happened when I was 27 years old, I got rheumatoid arthritis. Now, arthritis is the disease that keeps on giving. Moving anyway now.
All right. The light's less harsh now.
So basically I got osteoarthritis, and I also got osteoporosis, which meant that the insides of my teeth basically started to crack even more. And so hilariously what was happening was occasionally I'd be eating something and my teeth would explode. They would literally blow up, right? And I was sitting in Melbourne Central, actually, with a friend of mine. I was eating a custard tart, and as I was eating this custard tart, my tooth exploded right in front of him. And this guy's looked at me, and then he's looked at his custard tart, and then he's looked at me and gone, and put the custard tart down. And I'm going, no, the custard tart is fine. It's fine. It's just my teeth. And so what happened then was my jaw started to necrotize. It started to die. And so they said, "Oh, we have to take all your teeth from there to there up the top out. They all have to go, and we have to grind a bit of your jaw out." And they said, "Listen," it was on the bottom actually. Yeah, that's right. And they said, "Look, get ready for that fact you might wake up with a broken jaw. Get ready for the fact you might wake up with no jaw at all." And I'm going, "Oh, that's awkward." So they did a great job, and they ground out 5 millimeters of jaw. And then they basically say, "You've got osteoporosis. We have to give you these drugs. And what has to happen is all your teeth have to come out." And look, really, my teeth were buggered. Okay, they were yellow, they were crooked, and they were yellow because what was happening was that the rot from inside was creeping outside. They were awful. And there were holes all through them. I mean, there's pictures of me and my teeth. Spectacular.
There's videos of you.
There's videos of me and my teeth looking just fucking horrendous, right? And so basically they said, "All your teeth have got to come out." And I'm gone, "Okay." And we have to give you these drugs. And I'm going, "Okay." And so then I thought what would happen was my teeth would come out very quickly, and then I would have to wait a year and a half for my false teeth, my dentures, because it's like 7-8 grand's worth of work. And if you're like asking the government nicely to give you that kind of teeth, you wait.
Yeah,
right?
like Belinda says, their government should make dental covered under Medicare. It is.
Mm.
You just have to wait, sometimes a very long time.
You just have to wait, right? And that's okay, because basically, if you're getting it for free, buddy, you stand in line, okay? And I've always accepted that. When I stand outside the emergency department of any public hospital waiting for 6 hours, you know what? It's okay because it's free. If I wanted to pay 25 grand, I'd expect to be taken in and my bum to be wiped with silk sheets. But you know, if I want it for free, I get to wait, and I accept that. The system works actually very well. Anyway, so I waited 3 years for my teeth to come out. I thought, and this was all very desperate. This has to happen now. And I waited 3 years for my teeth to come out, and I went, oh, okay. They all came out. 2.5 hours in the chair.
Conscious.
That hurt. And then I'm gone, ow. And then about 4 days later, when I could actually move around again, I went into the Royal Melbourne Dental Hospital and said, may I have some false teeth, please? But it was more like, and they said, yeah, because they speak no teeth very well. And they said, yeah, no worries. We'll put you on the list. And I went, great. And I said, look, I know this is a teaching hospital. I am cool for students to get involved in this, you know, because, you know, you've got to learn somewhere. So if students want to get involved, cool with it. And they said, oh, really? And I went, well, yeah. And they went, well, come in next week. And I've gone, really? I'm expecting to wait 18 months, right? I'm expecting to wait 18 months. They say, come in next week. I meet my girl, Sarah, the brilliant, and she goes, oh, it's so awesome that you've let students have a go at your teeth, because no one does that. And I've gone, are you crazy? And they've gone, she's gone, no one does that. And I'm going, well, they're tools. Because over the shoulder of your dental prostheticist is their supervisor, and over their shoulder is the professor. You're literally sitting there with about $2,500 an hour worth of professional consultancy looking at your head all the time, right? If you just go with the normal professional, you wait 18 months, and it's basically them. They measure, you're in, you're out, gone, right? But no, they spent 3.5 hours debating over 0.5 millimeter of clearance between my lips and teeth. I'm not shitting you. I'm not shitting you. They spent all of this time and all of this money. And I said to this woman, can you ballpark, you know, roughly how long it's going to take to get my teeth back? And she said, oh, if we did really well, between 6 and 10 weeks. 6 weeks later, I walk out with these. Can you do that? Can you do that? And then, right? A month later, I go in and get them tuned. They work brilliantly. I can eat stuff. I can talk. People don't take my big issue off me and give me $5. It's like, you know, and the downside is that charity muggers now stop me, you know, and they say, do you care about children? I go, well, yeah. I really care about children. I really, really care about children. I like children in playgrounds. I like children at level crossings. When the lollipop lady's not there, she gets a bit aggro. When I like to hug the children. Yeah. And then the charity muggers stop talking to you. So tip from me to you. If you pretend to be a ped, the charity muggers will stop talking to you. If they talk to you about environmental issues, say, yeah, I care about the environment. There's not nearly enough coal ports in this country. If we're trying to bloody export coal to China, then we should be making coal ports. And you know what? We should ask the US government to give us nuclear weapons so that we can make new ports. New ports, I tell you. There's a couple of ports in bloody New South Wales, you know, they've got sacred sites on them, but what's sacred really? Really? Is it a church? No. they stop talking to you.
Yeah.
What's the other charity muggers? They're all about.
I don't. Just going to say hi to Frank and Writing Days and Mike. Writing Days incident. That's Big Pat.
Hey, Big Pat.
So yes, hello to new arrivals. Yeah, so I love you've enthralled people with the teeth story, and that's so mild compared to the everything else story.
I know. There's more things that have happened to me that exploding teeth.
Yes. Yeah, other exploding
when
body
one of my
parts.
teeth exploded. You were there.
Yeah, I've been there when one of your teeth have come to pieces.
Yeah, I was. We were doing a thing, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and he's gone, are you right? I'm going, yeah, no, fine. I just had a tooth explode, and I put my finger up, and I pulled out bits of tooth and blood and corruption, and this guy's gone, no, to the bathroom with you and sort that out. And I was there for about 20 minutes trying to make the bleeding stop. And I came from the dentist one time. I came from the dentist one time, and we were going to go and do some work. And then I've turned up, and I've walked out of the dentist, and of course you're numbed from local anaesthetic. And I was talking to this guy with one arm. All right, it just happened like that. Okay, so he's got a false arm, and I'm talking to him going, and we're walking past that building with all the circular windows in the city, and I've gone, oh, now we know where all the kegs have gone, ha, ha, ha. And he's turned around to me and gone, like that, and I've gone, that's a bit bloody much, because you're the guy with one arm, and I'm trying to be pleasant to you, and you could at least be pleasant to me. I finally get to this guy's workplace, and he says, oh, you might want to go to the bathroom and clean yourself up. What's happened, because I can't feel it, what's happened is I've got a blood trail coming all the way down my front into my shirt, and it looks like I've chewed the head off a baby, right? And so women are basically grabbing their children close to them, and you know, I'm walking going, what's going on here, and I finally see it and gone, that could be awkward. So I clean myself up best I can, say to this guy, let's go to work, and he says, yes, puts me in the car and takes me home. Who knew that was coming? He just decides, no work today. No, no work today.
For people who know Andrew WK for his famous party hard thing, and his iconographic photo is blood streaming down his nose and down the front, because that's how hard he parties. Parties till his nose bleeds. AIDzee was a bit of that, actually. It was coming from his mouth, not his nose, but all the.
But it was all very full on. And I was married at the time, and my wife came home, and she's gone, yeah, that shirt is no longer. And I've gone, no, it's okay, because all you have to do when you bleed on something, what you do is you spit on it, because the enzymes in your saliva will break down blood. Okay, so you spit on any blood-stained anything, and it'll fix it. And I've gone, see, watch. And I spat on it, and out has come more blood. And she's gone, no.
It's like the fatal flaw in the plan. The fatal flaw was the spit was more blood than spit. It's like, it was so well thought out. I read a science book that said saliva breaks down blood. So here I go with my guppy gross blood mouth. Everything's better now.
And she's looked at this and gone, oh, nauseous, and to the shower with you. And I go into the shower and clean myself up, and that shirt, which I liked, by the way. You know how you get a good pair of undies, and maybe they've got maybe a couple of holes in them, you know, or a good pair of socks, and maybe they're a little bit worn around the toe and heel area, but they're a good pair of socks. You know how you get a good pair of shoes finally, and the sole flaps? Rubber band.
Yep.
Rubber band. That will fix that.
Was it one of your marble shirts? You were very fond of them for a while.
It was a grey shirt, much like this, which highlighted the blood. And in fact, it was this vest as well. But the vest, because it's wool, basically, you can get anything out of wool. That's weird. You'd think synthetics, right? You can get stuff out of synthetics. No, wool. You can dip wool in almost any kind of chlorination, and the colour will stick. I don't understand that. You'd think the colour would go, but it doesn't.
It's the magic of sheep.
It's the magic of sheep.
That's what it's all about.
I don't like a sheep because they defy science. I think sheep pretend to eat in the fields, and then when we're not watching, they get blackboards out and do quantum gravity calculations. They're selfish bastards, sheep, which is why we should bomb New Zealand.
Yeah, one of the many reasons. That's it remind me of the old Far Side cartoon that cows on a farm where no one's looking, they're actually standing on their rear legs and just lounging about. They're actually bipedal, and one of them's on lookout and goes, "Car!" and they all go down on all fours. Well, that's what they're hiding from us.
That's right. You know,
farm animals, not to be trusted.
Yeah, and never ever let a cat get an opposable thumb, or you're all dead. You know, as soon as a cat gets an opposable thumb, you'll wake up with a cat on your chest with a small knife. It'll be a scalpel, and it'll go, "You have failed to be a complete feeding unit. You are no longer necessary. You're surplus to requirements." It's like, please don't, and no, you're gone. You know?
Cats have a very limited number of uses for humans. Feeding, occasionally they want to sit on you, and occasionally they want to be patted or scratched, but it's all on their terms.
It's all on their terms. It's all on their terms. Dogs, on the other hand, I think should have opposable thumbs.
Oh, they just do really useful stuff.
Because you give it Rover, and we go, "Dude, what do you need?" And it's like, "Oh, I think I want a beer and a pizza. Let me sort it out." And they drive to the pizza place and go, "I want Mauritiana, and I want no onions, and I want barbecue sauce, if that's okay. I'll pay with my own Tapper card, because your dog will have a job."
Oh, yeah. Dog with opposable thumbs is going to have a job.
You know, a dog with opposable thumbs is going to be like a flag guy at a construction site, you know. And then he'll turn up and say, "Look, you didn't ask for it, but I thought you might want a beer as well." And, you know, your dog, mind you, your cat with opposable thumbs is sitting on the computer going, "Anarchist's cookbook."
Yeah, no, they're up to no good enough as it is. That's a cheery thought, Pat. Your dog died. Okay, that's sad. Oh, hi, and just as an aside, hi, Captain Fizzman. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, lovely Dame cats, it's all on their terms, and they never quite tell you what those terms are. You think you know, and then they'll mix it up. They'll mix it up.
And then they'll switch it up a bit, and then you think, right. Do you notice how cats climb up fly screens?
Yes.
Is that like basically, you know, how you see kids climb up climbing walls indoors? Do you think that's what's going on there? Do you think they're just doing that for their own fun and pleasure? I know I've seen a cat climb up a fly screen to try and get a dragonfly, and then the dragonfly's waited and waited and waited and then flown off. And the cat has looked at the dragonfly fly off and then looked back at the fly screen and dipped its head, right? And I laughed. Then the cat looked at me and attacked me. I think it was because I was laughing at the cat. It just boinked off the fly screen, turned around and went me. And I just went, "Come on, dude. Come on." It was funny. You were going for the dragonfly, you missed it, you got disappointed, I laughed, and then you just went for me. That was it was unfair.
It is. Bye, Russell's got to go. Bye, Russell. Thanks for
dropping by. Russell, thanks. Man.
And you were, Belinda, I tend to agree with you a bit with cats, being stuck up with cats. Everything's on their terms, and you get what they allow, and they don't really consider. Oh, look, Nicholas is so keen for you to sing. He's even prompting you now. He's a big fan of the Clive Palmer song. Like, you probably haven't seen this because you don't spend a lot of time on the computer screen thingy where words go by fast. But Clive Palmer's Twitter feed has gotten really fucking surreal.
Okay.
Look, in fact, because we're actually on a laptop,
Right.
I can show AIDzee and it won't interrupt the old live stream.
Do you want me to sing the Clive Palmer
yeah,
song?
sing the Clive Palmer song while I'm doing it.
Clive Palmer, he's sitting around the house. Clive Palmer, he's sitting around the house. It's Palmer House. He's sitting right around Palmer House. It's Clive Palmer. He wants a new carport. Clive Palmer, he's sitting around the carport. Clive Palmer, what the hell is that?
His head is something about that's on the grog, but he does what he thinks are memes. Like there's a young Clive saying material.
I'm sorry, I stopped talking there for a second because I was blown away by the Clive Palmer. The final analysis like materialization is all important.
But look, what's that? How high? People are asking if we were high. How high is Clive Palmer?
Squash a thought, sing a new song, sound a warning, free a thought, stop a storm, jump a cloud, catch a rainbow, land side, free your thoughts.
Yeah.
Is he coming out?
I don't know. Seeing then picture of dogs in pajamas. That's fine.
Okay.
Then there's a cat drinking tequila.
Alcohol does not make you fat. It makes you lean against tables, chairs, floors, walls. People.
So
Clive's see what he's done there.
Clive's idea of humor is about level with a 12-year-old boy. And there's another dog picture. Who doesn't like dog pictures? Oh no, this is going to be his idea of a meme. Let's see if we can. It's Bill Shorten saying, "Hi guys, my name's Bill Shorten. I'm a very boring man. When confronted with situations in life, I choose neither to frown nor smile. You notice that emotionally drained look in everything I do. Please forgive me as I was born without a personality. I apologize for being me and hopefully I did not offend you. Please like me." He thinks that's funny.
Okay, yeah.
Look, ragging on Bill Shorten, do it by all means. But yeah, it's not actually funny.
Make a theme.
Oh God! See now again, this is going to be his idea of a meme. Fredo, except made to look like Pepe. Fredo the chocolate frog. He's like, "Hi kids, remember me? I'm Fredo the frog. I urge all of you to question everything and remember that reading BuzzFeed can give you serious constipation." And then Blinky Bill the koala says, "Thanks for that gold nugget of wisdom, Fredo. I'd also like to add that Rupert Murdoch is a globalist shill who needs to be held to account and have his News Corp monopoly broken up."
Whilst that's in its own way fair enough, it's not really realistic.
Oh man, it's just absolutely surreal. So back to our there we go live feed. Yeah, Clive Palmer's on drugs basically. So that's okay. Oh, Rachel says hi too. Okay, thanks, Pat. And Dr. Popperbong, fuck, is the greatest word in English language. It's pretty expressive.
It's pretty expressive,
Yeah.
and you know, I get a lot of use out of it.
Yes.
Often when I injure myself, which is on a regular basis.
Yes.
On a regular basis.
Yes.
I had a situation about 2.5 months ago where I was running for a bus. Okay, so I'm running for a bus. We're running for a bus because if I get this bus, then that's good because then I don't have to wait 25 minutes for another bus. Yay!
That's a plus.
So I'm running for the bus, and I am running against traffic. Okay, the lights have just turned green, and if I can get across the road, I can get to the bus. It's all good, and I trip over and hit the road. Bang! Down I go.
Yeah.
Now I fall pretty well because when you're arthritic, you learn arms in, protect the head. Okay, so down I've come, and I haven't got time to get the arms in, so I've spread them out as far as I can to try and break my fall as best I can. and I've hit my sternum and cracked it because I've got the osteoporosis, you see.
Yeah.
I've cracked it, and I've also, I feel my rib crack as well. So I get up. No, not at that point. I get up and I keep going because I realise I've fallen over in front of traffic that is moving. So you need to get up,
Out of the
okay?
traffic.
You need to get up out of the traffic. I get up, I take 2 more steps, down I go again. And I've gone, it is even more important at this time that you get up and leave the road because the cars will be running you over at any moment. At that point, I felt my rib crack, and I've gone, okay, it's just cracked, it's okay. Get over, and I get onto the bus, and to everyone's surprise, in my bag, I have a first aid kit. And I start to fix myself up.
Mr. Boy Scout, be prepared.
I basically get alcohol swabs and take off the road rash, and then I put Band-Aids on me. Everyone's just looking at me going, where did you get that from? And then I have a plastic bag in which I put all of the detritus in, goes back in my bag, and everyone goes, well, that wasn't as ugly as we thought it was going to be. 2 days later, I'm sitting in my place of abode, and I was walking back to my place of abode, and I sneeze, and then I felt the rib go, and it went crack, and it went open, and I've gone, oh, because you can't breathe, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going, I can't breathe. I'm in excruciating pain, and it's added to the excruciating pain of my joints. And I'm not in a good way, and I think I'd better seek medical attention. So I go and seek medical attention, and for reasons that we don't need to go into now, they've said, we're not going to give you any painkillers. And I've gone, are you out of your mother freaking minds? I've broken 2 bones. 2 bones. 2 bones. And they're going, yeah, well, you know, we don't think that you should exploit any more painkillers because, you know, we don't think that that's a good thing. And I go, no, you don't understand, broken bones. And then finally I went to another doctor, and he's gone, what we need to do is we need to give you muscle relaxants.
Muscle relaxants. Yeah, that makes you happy.
Okay, you know. Pan family. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Pan family. We need to give you muscle relaxants so that the muscles around the break relax and you heal faster. And bugger me, it worked. Also, I was fairly baked for most of that time. I might have overdone it with the prescription. Might have done. Has been known. And as a result, the bones heal. But also they found that it had other therapeutic uses. So last night, I took extra. And so this morning when I woke up, I was a little bit baked. So if I'm looking a little bit,
Yes. Also, this is what I always have to explain to people, like when AIDzee's been in videos in the past, people say, he looks really drugged. And go, well, possibly, but another side effect of the chronic pain is sleeplessness, because any movement at all in your sleep is horrible pain, wakes you up. So you might go days and days without sleep. So then when I see you, it's sleep deprivation. It's exactly the same as being on heroin, basically. So oh, and by the way, hello, Rose, Stephen, you dropped in.
Hi, Rose and Stephen.
But yeah, so that's like when people say, like, you know, "Be on drugs." I don't know, probably.
Maybe,
but, you know,
mate,
could just be sleep deprivation.
And sometimes
and acting as well.
It's both.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's both.
Yeah.
And you know, you can usually tell when it's both. Because I start talking about things that make I start talking in non sequiturs.
Yeah.
And you know, that's usually time to send AIDzee home.
I am a bit of video. I don't even remember if I showed you, but I certainly never showed it on YouTube. It's from a very long time ago. Like, I mean, it's probably from 7 years ago. You were still at the house with Benny, and yeah, you fell asleep standing up with the camera rolling.
Yes.
We were doing a thing, and you're talking, and you was leaning on your stick and trailed off and went, but didn't fall over. Did not fall over, but lost consciousness standing up. And I'm like, fucking right, okay, he'll snap out of this soon, because he always did. And you go, oh no, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and at that point it's got to the stage like, oh God, is he going to jolt if I wake him up and then fall over and break something and I'll feel bad? Or will I just leave him like snoring? He's standing up, bent forward a little bit and snoring. And I'm going, well, fuck me. Really? Okay. Okay. I always threatened to put that on YouTube, but now I still, because I don't throw video away, I've got like 5 external hard drives with, you know, like 7 or 8 terabytes. I'd never find it. It's a needle in a haystack, you know, but it exists. And
what I thought my best ever effort, was I've come to Angry Studios and said, hey, let's watch a movie, because we do that sometimes. We sit down and we watch a narrative to a movie, right? It's fun, you know, everyone enjoys it, and a lot of people say they clean to it. Yeah. You know, but the idea is that you stick the movie on at the same time that we're watching the movie, and you get our narrative to the movie.
It's like the director's commentary track for a movie, except it's us.
Except it's us, right? Yeah. And so basically, is it 40 Days of Night?
Yeah, the vampire one.
Vampire one, right? 40 Days of Night. And we've set up to watch this 40 Days of Night. And I rock up and I say, okay, let's watch 40 Days of Night. And Angry looks at me like I'm from outer space and goes, dude, we did that last week. And I go, no. Remember, we were setting up to do that. Now, you've got a little bit of context. Yeah. I had a slight concussion the week before.
Fell over, hit his head. So everything was fine.
When you actually see the movie, you can see I've got these dark rings under my eyes and this dark ring and this dark patch under my nose.
Just a slight bruising from
funk, right? And basically, I've gone, no, we haven't done it. Then he shows me the video, and here's me doing the thing, talking, like absolutely commenting, like I'm supposed to comment. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, completely on autopilot. I have no memory of this event whatsoever. Yeah, I have seen the video. I have seen the video of me doing it, and apparently I navigated home just fine.
Yeah. So
when I get very sleep deprived, I also black out. And so what'll happen is I'll be watching the video or something, and the next thing I'll wake up somewhere completely different. Yeah. The 3 most spectacular ones were I was couch surfing at a friend's place, and they thought I'd gone out for the morning, and the next thing they hear me shouting at birds. And
yeah, that was New Year's Eve.
So they come out and they see me on the roof shouting at birds because they're making too much noise. I've got sunburn on my back. I am completely naked. And somehow in the middle of the night, I've gotten up onto the roof and gone back down to sleep. And I've woken up there and they've gone, so dude, how did you get on the roof? And I'm gone, I don't know how I've gotten onto the roof. How do I get back down? And they go,
that's the big question.
We don't know how you get back down. We don't have a ladder.
So this is semi-crippled arthritis man was so much on a different plane of existence that he somehow did something that should have been physically impossible.
And I've gotten on the roof somehow, and I've stayed there all morning, got sunburnt on the back, and we had to work out. It took us 25 minutes to work out how to get me back down, and it involved hanging off stuff and dropping a couple of meters. It was awkward.
Yeah.
The other two awkward ones was I was on the roof of my current house, and there's a rooftop garden sort of thing. Now, around it is a guardrail, okay? I woke up about to step off 4 stories down. And I've woken up as I'm stepping going, oh no, don't do that. And I've leaned back and fallen onto the rooftop garden thinking, okay, poos, that scared me. The only other one I did was it was 5:15 in the morning, and I've woken up on the tram. I'm wearing a pair of boxer shorts, one shoe, and I have my keys in my hand. Happily, I'd only gone a couple of stops on the tram into the city. I wake up, like last thing I remember is I was looking at my computer. I wake up on the tram at 5:30 in the morning. Everyone's looking at me like I'm the weird one. Yeah. And it's 6 degrees outside, and I pull the bell in the most dignified way I can. I get off the tram, and then I basically bolt home.
Yep.
I don't know why I took my keys with me. I'm happy that I took my keys
get back in. You're not stupid.
I'm not stupid.
You didn't. I mean, you realised I've got no pants on, so no pockets, so I better just hold my keys.
I just better hold my keys.
I mean, some people might have gone, I probably should put pants on, but you know, failing that, you just hold on to the keys.
You just hold on to the keys. And I had one shoe on.
So yeah,
no socks, but one shoe.
Which is, it shows some degree of preparation.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, hello, WOW Productions in Queensland, W-O-W. I don't know if we pronounce that WOW. And the philosopher asks a good question. The naked on the roof thing. Were clothes thrown to you? Or
no.
Were you left naked up there too?
No, there was no real point in clothes.
I think you were objecting to the concept of clothes.
Well, I figured, let's just get down. I've got clothes in the house. I can wear clothes in the house. I found my clothes neatly piled up on my bed. Because as I was couch surfing in this situation, they had a spare room, and I had somehow taken my clothes off and folded them. I might have been actually going to bed and forgotten that bed wasn't on the roof.
Yeah, it happens. It's understandable.
It happens.
Understandable.
They were the most spectacular ones. Just recently, my boyfriend woke me up. I happily had pants on this time. I had pants on, and I was walking down the hall of our tenement building, and he's shaking me going, AIDzee, come on, matey, hey, AIDzee, matey, it's time to go back to bed. And I've looked at him and gone, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Because the last thing I remember was looking at a YouTube video involving the Kerbal Space Program, and he basically said, you looked at the screen for an hour, the video had stopped, you kept on looking at it, then you stood up, you took your clothes off, you put your trachy-dacks on, and then you left the building. And then he's basically gone, no, and raced out after me. Gone, he's blacked out. He's blacked out, and shook me awake. And I've gone, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. And I hadn't really slept for about 3 days. That's the perfect storm. If I haven't really slept for 3 days, that's when my body starts to go, that's it, no more for you. Brain shut down, and then that part of the brain that's still motivated to do stuff goes, we're going to do stuff. We're going to do stuff. It's going to be great. No, we're going to do something.
All those decision centers of the brain have shut down. Now's when the fun really starts.
And that's when we really get into it, you know.
I think the closest I've done, I actually did on camera. I was doing a live stream once by myself, in fact, and I was watching movies and I was getting really, really drunk, passing judgment, like, you know, I was watching 300 and going, well, if watching oiled up, nearly naked, muscled men is gay, then I don't know what's what in the world anymore, you know, stuff like that. And I woke up in the morning, right, and I realized I don't remember going to bed, and I was live on the internet, and those two things don't go well together. And okay,
we were live streaming. Yeah, no, go on.
Yeah, we did that on New Year's Eve one time. Yeah,
we were live streaming, and I woke
Oh,
up.
you that night, because it was New Year's Eve. We were, and you went in and out all night.
All night. And at one point, I've woke up and I've seen the comments, and it's like, well, this is boring. I've just watched a guy be asleep for 4 hours.
And that was the best comment, because the person's actually admitting they watched him sleep for 4 hours.
Why would you watch me sleep for 4 hours? Why wouldn't you click on to something else?
To see if you did anything, man.
And I've gone, sure, I'll wet myself.
Yeah.
You know,
but that was only this. I didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
You know,
who gets to do that? I mean, you know.
I remember us putting people off by giving nearly naked girling massages during the thing.
That was different, and he was screaming Milton.
and people go, you're faggots, and I said, I'm massaging oil into a large, hairy, nearly naked man. Shut up.
You know, what else? You know, and besides,
is everything gay now?
The weird thing is, you know, the two guys that were doing the thing, they weren't the faggots.
I know.
The guy that was the faggot was sitting to the side, basically watching on. Right?
Which actually makes sense.
Right. I was the faggot, and I wasn't actually doing any of the faggy stuff. And I'm going, well, you know, guys, come on.
The two raging heterosexuals are doing oil massages.
Right, you know, these are some of the most heterosexual guys I know, and me, I'm just like, you know, well, admittedly I was, let's say, enhanced.
Under the weather.
I was under the weather, enhanced, and I was enhanced, and I was finding new philosophies in my own way. And every now and again I would say stuff like, the world isn't hollow, but it is traveling through a quantum gravity field that is probably being made up as we go. That would describe how relativistic effects gel with quantum effects. And then these two guys who were massaging each other would look over, nod, and go back to screaming Milton.
Yeah.
It was a different night. It was a different night.
But look, Nicholas is helping us out with some Croatian. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, Nicholas, but is Croatian one of those languages where you write stuff down in letters? If I tried to pronounce that phonetically in English, by English phonetics, it wouldn't sound anything like it's supposed to. Like you said, friend is prijatelj, and that's probably nothing remotely close to the pronunciation. Or the Croatian for go fuck yourself, that's going to come in handy. Jebise or Jebise, and it's Jebse. Oh, big bad ads. AIDzee is sort of, hey, I just thought of something, because I'm going to get some ice anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring something back that has happened. So, you know, you can hold for you. You're going to move a bit and let me out again.
I'm moving.
All right,
I'm moving. I'm holding the fort. I'm so deep. Well, I'm sort of deep, but I'm not really as deep as you'd think. Because basically what I do is I watch a whole bunch of Neil deGrasse Tyson and go, oh, right. Oh, so it's like that. All right. And every now and again in your cosmology, they change their mind, right? So they had this thing where they went, okay, the solar system is the universe, you know, and everyone's happy about that. And then they got the sun in the middle and they were happy about that. And they went, hang on a second, the solar system isn't the universe, there's more in it. And then they went, oh, the Milky Way, that's the universe. And then they went, and then Hubble, this guy, had a big telescope, and he said, oh, I don't want to upset anyone, but I have noticed those blurs on the photograph, they're actually galaxies, and there's a lot of them, and they're far away. And then they've gone, oh, that's awkward. And then Hubble's turned around later and said, I don't want to upset anyone any further, but those galaxies are actually moving away from us really quickly. And so the universe is way bigger. And so they said, oh, okay, no, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. And then they said,
so you're going to let me in again while you're expounding the mysteries of the universe.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they said, oh, by the way, those galaxies are spinning too fast. They're spinning too fast and they would fly apart. And they've gone, well, okay, well, if they're spinning too fast, what does that mean? There's more gravity around them. Well, there can't be more gravity around them because there's no more stuff. And then they said, well, it's dark. And they printed dark matter. And they said, oh, by the way, there's more of it than stuff you can see. And then they invented dark energy, and they said there's a shit load of that. So we apparently now know 4% of the universe. With all of our stuff, with all of our collected body of knowledge, we now know 4% of the universe, and the rest of it is, don't know.
But I love that they actually keep finding solid evidence through magic of mathematics and whatnot. See that pattern, that gravity pattern there? Completely in line with dark matter theory.
Yeah, totally.
It's like we just got an observable effect that backs up this crazy shit we've been saying.
We don't know what it
grab
is.
AIDzee by the bollocks, which is actually getting like Pepsi, which is down there. That's okay.
Yes. I did get grabbed by the bollocks, which I got to say is disappointing.
I know, you'd be disappointed. Oh, Big Bad Ads hasn't been able to catch the streams because working night shift. Well, there's for one of a number of reasons of doing a daytime stream, because maybe catch some people who couldn't normally catch the night ones, but also it was when AIDzee was coming over. So
here we are.
Alpha MGTOW. Okay, fair enough.
It's a great name.
It is.
It's a great name. Alpha MGTOW.
Yeah. See, Mike's got excited because he knows what I brought out here, which is the letter. Now, I think most people here will know this, and I have read it on previous things. But a viewer who had the handle Video Dude, apparently he's a fairly unbalanced young lad, 20-something, got enamored of the Mormon religion, but got kicked out because he's a bit fucking out there and a bit of a worry and does drugs and whatnot. And he wouldn't shut up. He was being a dick in the channel, saying nasty, homophobic things. And I said, look, joke's a joke, shut up. And he was being a dick. And this system has the fun thing of you can put someone in timeout, and that just kicks them out for 10 minutes. And just as a warning, like, I'm going to kick you.
Behave yourself. Yeah. Have a think about what you've done. Yeah. And then come back.
And 9 times out of 10, that works. Like, I've hardly had to ban anyone from this because it's just for being boring. And he wouldn't stop. He'd come back and he said, no, dude, you don't get to do that. And he wouldn't stop. So I did actually ban him because it's like, you're just being stupid and boring. I want nothing to do with it. And he did not take this well. And he proceeded to write me a letter. And oh my, what a letter. People who caught me reading things. Like, look, see how small that type is on this letter? Like, that's the first sign that he's crazy, quite honestly. But it goes for 3.5 pages. There are a lot of words written here, and it swings in and out in very, very, very unbalanced way.
You've got to be fairly angry to send a letter.
Yeah, but to send a letter that I've never even bothered to count, but that's, I think it's a couple thousand words.
That's a lot of words.
Like, because even like, you know, 12-point double spaced is 250 words a page, and this is like 8-point single spaced.
That's
so
a lot of
I think
words.
it's like a couple thousand words in here. And I have told AIDzee the basic gist, but you know, you can do a dramatic reading of it if you like.
Yeah, there's a particular bit in it where my erstwhile companion here has been blamed for my
gayness, liking the peen,
adoring the peen, and basically when one becomes addicted to the D, it's a thing that is a lifelong challenge. It's a thing that one grows up with and into.
Yeah, I'll just say bye bye, Patman Sport has to duck off. See you another time.
Sport. Have a good one, man.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, it's one of those things where a teenage passion that stays with you for life, you know, like heavy metal music or, you know, other things. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to give this a peruse and pick out when a passage really catches your eye, or if you just want to do all of it.
Do you? I am going to have a lot of difficulty reading this.
Oh, it is. No, it's too small. No.
It's very small. What I suggest, because you've read this before.
Yeah.
What I suggest is there's bits in there that relate directly to me.
Yeah.
And I thought what we might do, and we've discussed this together, what we might do is set our folks straight. See what I did there?
Yeah.
About what exactly Angry's responsible for, and what Angry's not responsible for. Because Angry's made responsible for things that he probably isn't.
But it gets good pretty quickly, like a couple paragraphs in, which is like, I don't know, a couple hundred words in. But it is, look, honestly, the first sentence of the letter sets the mood, and it just goes from there. Literally, you got this weird, like, this just looks like a serial killer's letter when you open it.
It does.
And when the first sentence of it,
this is jelly Fanta. I don't recommend this for
normal Fanta.
Drinks.
That's the one you're supposed to shake a few times before drinking. The first line is, you blocking from your channel is offensive to the human species. So that's a pretty big thing.
That's a big call.
Yeah.
You know, if I had invented hydrogen power for cars.
Yes.
And invented a way to liquefy hydrogen room temperature and blocked that person, then I'd say that's hurting the species.
Yeah.
That's not what's going on here.
No. I think also being educated by Nicholas, Bowley me kurats, my dick hurts, which is an expression that means I really care about something. Like no, you know, that's so important to me, my dick hurts. So that could get you in trouble. That is all I'm saying.
That's so important to me, my dick hurts.
Yeah, or you're upset, or I care so much, my dick hurts. But yeah, we're getting to this is see, I get lines like, for blocking as person, also his grasp of English grammar, sentence structure is not great. So if I read verbatim, it's not going to make a lot of sense because it doesn't make sense. But for blocking as person of the true and living God of the universe, you have condemned yourself, and I cannot wait to be in the celestial glory, the top heaven, and watch you burn for eternity for rejecting Yahweh and rejecting Yeshua. which is apparently what blocking him is. That's rejecting God.
Ah.
So your problem is you think you're better than everyone, including God.
Ah.
You're not and never will. Yahweh is greater than the creation, which is common logic for a God. It should also be the logic that all his creations live by. You cannot outperform God in anything except stupidity. Haha, therefore better than God. Just saying.
Just saying.
Like immovable object, unstoppable force type stuff.
Yeah.
It just proved I'm greater than God. Anyway, Yahweh in his earthly creation, Yeshua, can act stupid, but can never outperform the creation, including you, in levels of stupidity. I do not understand why you think you have earned your status into godhood, which, you know, I was not completely aware that I had boosted myself up into godhead.
I have got to say, we've had many conversations.
Yeah.
Me and Angry, and at no time has he said, you know what, today I've proved myself godhood. I've boosted myself into godhood.
Yeah.
I am godhood. That's never happened. Not when we've had many conversations.
Yes.
And at no time has he said, you know what, AIDzee, today I've found Godhead.
Yes.
It's me.
It's me. I am a god. I like that. Heist can't stay, so he's looking forward to seeing it as a, because that's the joy. This stays up on YouTube, so you can watch it later. You know, it's like a podcast. You can do your cleaning to it, or oh, big bad ads. This guy is not stable. I have not even got to the unstable bits yet. This is relatively even keeled.
This is the bit where he's just introing.
Yeah, no, I'm about to get to the really clearly unstable bit. So anyway, so he's upset because I don't have the right to be a god.
Mm.
Only a person of a low level of intelligence can think they are God. God should be obvious to all intelligent people. Look at the universe. It's too perfect to be an accident. Yet there are things, well, yes, there are things like cancer, but if we as a species would put our trust, faith, and devotion in God, then all of that would end. I know that. Yahweh told me that. I think he actually literally means a voice told him.
Okay.
I honestly think with this guy, I'm not taking the piss. I'm not making light of mental illness. I think when this guy says Yahweh told me this, I think he had an actual voice. Hey, Shadow Eyes, you missed out the intro. This is a guy that I banned from coming into my live streams because he was just a boring little dick. And he wrote me a very long, scary letter. And I'm just reading a couple of select passages of it, because here's where we get on to AIDzee. So, Yahweh told him that if anyone denies it is an idiot, and they deserve the kinds of things they are promoting, which are violence, rape, murder, cancer, terrorism, and poverty, which is like wicked. I don't remember promoting those things, but you know.
I am going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you have opposed all of those things in different conversations and actual videos that we've done together. Now, remember that I don't do all of Angry's videos together with him. He does many on his own, and I only do a percentage of those videos. And I happen to know that of all of the things that have just been listed there, he has opposed all of those things while I have been next to him.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's wrong.
Yeah. Oh, and RedBot, this was actually a couple months ago that I banned him. I haven't had to ban that many people. But anyway, so here's where he gets in that I don't know, Yahweh. I bet you made a deal with Satan in the pre-existence. I bet that's why you're finding the concept of God so difficult. I think you made a stupid move in the afterlife to try and make Yahweh look like an idiot. It will not work. That's what AIDzee has done as well. Otherwise, AIDzee would have come to know Yahweh by now. You are holding him back from knowing God. You fucking are, you cunt. That's in all caps. We've just gone from you're with Satan, you're denying God, you're a
you
bad person,
can you
then all
explain
caps,
to me
you
what
fucking
the
are, you cunt.
pre-existence is?
Oh, that's part of Mormonism.
Okay.
It's like you're going in and out of existence, like before this life. But he mixes up pre-existence and afterlife, so I assume he believes in reincarnation. I don't know.
Okay, sure. Why not?
But yeah,
A lot of people do. That's fair enough. Okay, if you want to do that, that's okay. You made a deal with Satan in the pre-existence.
yeah. So, but
can you make deals with things while you don't exist?
yeah, that's why I think it is an afterlife type thingy, and pre this existence and outcome. He must believe in reincarnation. I like that one, Nicholas. Bog to jabor. God fucks you. That's a pretty good insult.
Wow, that's an insult.
That is a pretty good
God
insult.
fucks you.
Trying to find the other good bit where I'm really blamed for everything about you. I do like that he's saying, like, because he keeps saying that I should be saving all of you. And there is the line that even reading this letter in a video would make you a slightly better man. So
well, you're a
I'm
slightly better man. You're a
yeah.
slightly better man, dude.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm getting that vibe.
Yeah.
I'm getting the vibe. I'm getting the
Slightly
vibe
better?
that he's a slightly better man. You know, before he was a slightly better man, had no teeth. Now, teeth.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Slightly better man. So clearly on your way up. The deals that you've made with fictitious characters are basically now being overturned by your slightly betterness.
Yeah, yeah. Now, but I do want to read this because this, while VD has his own particular delusional way of things, this is an attitude that I have seen a lot of people who are jerks on my YouTube channel, and I've told them so or blocked them. He goes, okay, now back to the original point of this letter. It was to blast you about blocking me on YouTube. I know you feel you do not owe me anything, but I assure you that you do. As a loyal follower of your channel since the mask days, you own me the right to comment and say what I want on your live streams because I helped you become a YouTuber and make YouTube a worthy venture for you and your time. You have rejected that. You have now rejected a man of God, a holy man who just wants to save the life of you and AIDzee and all the others that followed you and watched your videos on YouTube. All you had to do was listen to me, become a follower of Yahweh. At this point, he's gone off being a normal YouTube commenter and being his own crazy self, and then become a baptized man. You then should have changed the kind of content you created to increase the amount of religious videos you could have produced. Me and my friends could have helped you make your videos full-time, so you could make all that you could think of and save more lives. I would have flown down to Melbourne to baptize you. That would have been pretty fucking spectacular.
That would have been spectacular. That would have been spectacular.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. But the first half of that is like the average opinionated dickhead on the internet, YouTube, the internet generally, and YouTube specifically. But then he goes off on his own crazy self for the second half.
Yeah. Let's talk about the concept of owing. All right. I happen to be a disabled pensioner. I do. I really am. And every month or so, the Australian government dumps a bit of cash into my account. Now, this helps me no end. This helps me no end. It helps pay my rent. I get to eat occasionally, and it's very good. Now, thing is, I am not owed that. And at any point, the Australian government could go, you know what, AIDzee, we've had enough of you and your kind. You don't get that anymore. And instead of jumping up and down and freaking out and going, you bastards, I'd go, well, that's disappointing. I'd like you to think of an alternative idea. But I am not owed anything by anyone. And so when you start to hear people go, oh, you owe me the right to XYZ.
Yes.
The other thing to remember is that we live in Australia, and it's a funny little thing here in Australia. When you read the actual Constitution of Australia, there is in no part of that Constitution the right to free speech or expression.
No. There are some generally held principles in law, but there is no enshrined protection
There is
of free speech.
no right to free speech. And what the Australian federal government and state government do is they hold the privilege of free speech as very high.
Yes.
They actually take that very seriously, and they say, your privilege of free speech we hold very dear. But if you start saying this kind of person, for whatever they are, is evil and should be shot, they very, very quickly clamp down on you and go, you're not allowed to bring anyone into disrepute for being what they are. Currently, there's a big vote on at the moment about giving queers the right to marry, and it's a little change in federal law that basically says you know, your same-sex people are allowed to get it together in a marriage kind of way. It doesn't say churches have to do it. It basically just says that they're allowed to have the same rights and privileges as other married people. It's actually surprisingly far-reaching, but we won't get into that here. I'm sure the campaigns will let you know all about it.
Yes.
But effectively, there is no onus on anyone in Australia to give you any kind of owed free speech or owed platform for whatever. You can choose to be here and listen to this. You can choose not to be here and listen to this. But we are not owed any kind of platform at all. It is very it is very kind of Google through YouTube to let us do this.
Yes.
But they don't have to.
No.
They don't have to do that.
No.
And as a result, anyone who's participating in this does not have to be able to say what they want, especially if it's illegal. And it is illegal to tell a kind of person that they are evil or wrong or bad on an Australian medium.
Yeah.
That's something very, very, very important to remember. We have to be really careful about what we say on YouTube because we're in Australia. And if we said that a certain group of people should be put in camps and have yellow stars on them, we would be arrested and we would be charged and we would be jailed. True story. True story.
It can easily happen, and yeah, like that dickhead neo-Nazi who formed one of those racist groups. Never even heard what happened, but he was up on quite serious charges.
He was.
And I thought that was supposed to resolve recently, but then I didn't see anything, so I don't know what happened to it.
I think they delayed it because they were. It wasn't the defence brought more evidence. The prosecution brought more evidence.
Yeah.
They asked the judge to delay because they actually had more to charge him with.
Yeah. No.
You know you fucked when. When it's not the defence delaying, it's the prosecution delaying. It's like, whoops, I'm in deeper shit than I thought I'd be.
Mind you, although on paper our laws, and particularly people who say they're free speech, say that our anti-vilification laws are bad, even though the only people who've been successfully prosecuted under them did something egregiously wrong, like not even slightly wrong. So as always saying, oh, but I'm not allowed to help. Yeah, oh, free speech is going like, no, the people who've been convicted were either lying or just full-on hate preachers. And England's actually had way more prosecutions where people have been prosecuted and jailed for being dicks on the internet. Like it happens a lot. You know, people who troll memorial pages for dead kitties end up in jail.
They get jailed.
So yeah. Hi, Betty Wallaby. How are you? All the way from Canada. Nicholas, I'm thanking you for the Croatian phrases. They're bound to come in helpful, actually. Like that one, like "Jebem ti Boga," I fuck your god. Or I see the Boga is the god part, because that was in the other sentence as well. So if I were to upset VD really badly, I would say "Jebem ti Yahweh."
Okay.
Or Yeshua. But oh yeah, and the other thing for people who don't know the full story about VD, because another regular in the live streams, not here today actually, not yet anyway, Celtic King knows VD and assured me no, he's actually that crazy. He's a bit of a worry. VD, like one of the reasons he got kicked out of the Mormon church is he liked the bong, and they don't hold parcel with that. And he got busted by some cops for drug possession. Someone probably ratted him out, or he's probably stupid enough to be smoking a joint in public or something.
That'll do it.
And yeah, he punched on when the cops searched him to get him for possession. He's in jail now.
Don't do that.
And apparently he's had his head kicked in a couple of times in jail for basically radiating the attitude that's in this letter and preaching at people.
Oh, don't do that. When you're I know this is going to sound strange. I know this is going to sound strange, but I have had many instances where I have had interactions with police. I know. You wouldn't think it, I wouldn't think it, but a few times I've been woken up on park benches and I might have been medicated. And I've been looking up at 6 police and they've gone, "Hey, you." And I've gone, "Oh, greetings, officers. What seems to be the problem?" And they've gone, "We're going to search your bag." Now, first thing you do is you don't go, "You're not allowed to search my bag," because they're going to anyway, right? And if you try and take your bag off them, that's considered an invitation to aggression. And an invitation to aggression is always going to end badly for you. Remember that cops are trained to punch on. You're not. You might have had some experience as a youth punching on. Cops punch on a daily basis.
With a truncheon, usually.
With a truncheon.
So yeah, being aggressive to cops will never work in your favour.
Be polite. I was once, after working with Young Angry, I was once going home. Well, I say home, I was couch surfing at the time because I was homeless, but that's immaterial. No, it's actually material. I was finished. It was a long day and I had medicated myself quite extensively. And so I was having a little dance on the train platform because the medication was starting to kick in, and for the first time in 2 days I wasn't feeling any actual physical pain. So I did a little dance on the platform, and see I'm having a dance on the platform, and and I had my headphones on. I was listening to Adele, I think, and I was like rolling in the deep, could have had it all. And then I'm looking down and I'm seeing 4 sets of feet in black shoes with dark blue pants. And I look up, and attached to these 4 sets of feet with dark blue pants is the leather uniform of beat police. And they're all looking at me, not rolling in the deep. They're not having a dance. They're having a look at me with the stern face on. And I've gone, this could be awkward. And I've gone, greetings to you, right? And I basically has gone, I'm greetings to you, and they've gone, what are you doing? And I said, oh, it's a little dance to Adele. I'll turn that off now so that I can hear you properly. And I was also having a cigarette. That was back in the days when you could smoke outside. And I said, oh, you can put the cigarette out. And I'm going, oh, okay. And one of the other cops said, well, actually, he's allowed to do that here. And I've gone, oh, well, look, I mean no offence, so I'll just put it out. Now, the first thing I did was I rolled the cigarette out, right, and stomped on the cherry of the cigarette and then put the butt in my pocket. No littering for me. And then they've gone, well, what are you doing? And I'm gone, well, I'm actually quite medicated. And they've gone, oh, we'll search your bag. And I'm gone, of course you can. And they've searched my bag and found a knife in it. And
there are carry laws that are fairly strict in Victoria.
Happily, my knife was part of a Leatherman. Yeah, it was part of a multi-tool.
A multi-tool.
A multi-tool. And they've opened up this thing. Now, it was in its sheath. It was wrapped up, and it was right down the bottom of the bag. I couldn't have grabbed it and bloody and started to stab on. There was just no way. It was impractical. And they said, why have you got this? And I said, I'm arthritic and I need the tools to turn on taps and to open up little packets of stuff. It's very useful, which was all true. And as they've been more and more aggressive in their questioning, I've been more and more polite in my answering and more calm in my answering. All of a sudden, 2 more cops have turned up and have gone, we're going to take this knife to our sergeant to make sure that it's legit. And I'm thinking, if the sergeant says it's not legit, I'm going to jail tonight. Off they go. They come back and they said, look, you can have this, but you have to grind off the point. And I said, I will do that. I know a blacksmith. I will do that this evening. And so I got my knife back and I said, so what were you doing today? And I said, I was making a video. And said, well, what video are you making? And this always happens, right? This always bloody happens. And they said, what channel? And I said, oh, I was, AngryAussie. Oh, I know I've seen AngryAussie. He's really good. How is he? And I'm going, fucking ask him. He's... I'm here. I was in the video too. He's good. He's really good. Yeah. And he's not here. You could bloody message him on his channel. Bloody hello, AIDzee. There.
I want to have a little chat about some stuff in the chat there. Big Bad Ads asked AIDzee, would you hate fuck Milo Yiannopoulos? Now, I think that's in relation to the Australian writer, I think Ben Law is his name, I think. He was talking about the marriage equality bullshit going on in Australia. Like, why are these no voters so uptight? Oh my God, do I have to hate fuck every one of them just to get it out of their system so they'll leave us alone? Fine, unzips. And of course, the Conservatives tried to make a very big thing about him using the term hate fuck. And they tried to say it was rape, which is absolutely not what hate fucking is. Hate fucking is a consensual thing, but it tends to be really aggressive, whereas some sort of dislike or falling out with someone coupled with sexual tension and so you have sex to get it out of your system, but because you don't like each other, it tends to be really aggressive and like you get off on it. It's not rape at all, it's consensual. Actually, Man with a Tan, I also don't agree that it's homophobic. Hate fucking's got nothing to do with gender or sexuality.
Yeah. Could be anyone.
It's a thing. It can be heterosexual, it can be homosexual, it can be group sexual, I don't know. Football teams who don't like each other and get together and hate fuck, I don't know. So but it was interesting how the Conservatives tried to really beat up. This was like a one-line joke on Twitter where this guy just went, oh my God, am I going to have to hate fuck every one of them just so it gets out of their system? And they really, really tried to blow it out of all proportion. So,
which we've seen before.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which we've seen before.
So,
Clive Palmer sitting around a copper. Clive. Last time I've seen the Clive Palmer song, I burnt myself on a light, which was basically, you know, God punishing me for
the angry studio, because the halogen lights were actually really hot.
Really hot. Doing the Clive Palmer
and you've
song.
waved your arms around too much.
I put it right on the bowl when I'm going, oh, song of pain.
Yeah, you're absolutely forgiven, Man with a Tan. It's nice that you wanted to step up and say, actually speak out against even perceived homophobia. I just don't think that is an of itself. Nicholas's last slang phrase, pica dices gadilla. You find pussy repulsive. Well, so long as you find dick attractive, and that would work out. Oh God, that reminds me.
See, the thing is, I'm pussy.
No, no, because
I like everything.
You're the depraved bisexual.
Yeah.
You do it whenever you get the chance.
Yeah. Most hated in the 80s.
Yeah. So that right. Do you remember Rammstein, that German?
I do remember Rammstein.
There is a video. The guy's got the lead singer from Rammstein has another project, and I can't remember what it's called, but he did this clip that is fucking twisted beyond belief. The song's called "Praise Abort," and it literally means abortion, because the line in the song goes something like, "I like to fuck, but no French letter. Without the condom, it just feels better." And the song goes on where he's saying like he doesn't like to use condoms, and so his wife's always getting pregnant, which he finds really inconvenient. And so he actually goes, so I'm going to get a boyfriend because he won't get pregnant. But the chorus line is completely perverse. Like the first chorus is like, I hate my wife and I hate something other, then I hate my life and I hate you. And then when he starts talking about he's going to get a boyfriend just because the boyfriend won't get pregnant, and then it's like, I hate my wife and my boyfriend too. I hate my life. But the visuals, like the lyrics, are bad enough. But and then the song you praise abort because the less babies if you have abortion, but the visuals. Like his wife is this pig woman thing, like there's all these prosthetics, not just a pig head, like pig udders on things too, and very, very emotionally scarring simulated sex with the pig animals in the video too.
Wow.
If it's still on YouTube, if it hasn't been taken down, in fact, I'll see if it's still there. I can search. I don't want to do that. I want to do this because it was just called praise and worship songs. Not quite. See what the thing's called. Lindemann. That's what it's called, and it's still on there with is that 11 million views? That's pretty good.
Okay.
About 2 years old. So yeah, Lindemann is thing. Yeah, Tendo, it's a daytime thing. Oh, Daria. Okay, that's his surname, is it? Lindemann. Okay, I did not know because I'm not that down with Rammstein.
There you go.
So yeah, so he has this outfit called Lindemann, and this really perverse song called Praise Abort, and the video is really twisted as well.
Okay, okay. I have this thing about seeing the insides of people.
Yeah, like
right, because I've seen my insides.
Yeah.
And it's a thing with me.
Yeah.
Well,
I can actually put it on because it won't play because I got thing. So you really just keep going, like the visuals are on there. It's all sort of quite twisted.
It is quite.
Yeah.
He's got nice teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, but it goes away from like this is the bit where he's probably just saying a praise board, and then you've got this thing. So you've got this set, and it's all white, and he's like moon dancing. You can see the monster on the piano there with the prosthetics. He's wearing all white, has a huge white hat and a white coat, and he's doing some nice white man dancing as he goes around, and he's literally just singing about sex, and the thing on the piano just vomited milk or something. And we're doing a director's edit, and he's doing his fabulous dance moves, and there's a demonic bestial thing playing the piano, which I think is meant to be his wife. And so he's got psychological issues. But it's nice visual, isn't it? Like on a white set and him wearing all white. Oh, did you see the surgeon coming up then? See the pig monster thing keeps coming. So you've got this pig monster thing dressed like a surgeon, but it's got blood up to the elbows. And it's just... And it's drooling, and it's really bestial and monstery, and yeah, seeing there's a port in the and the ballerinas that just have ballerinas in white, but they've got blood stains all the way down their legs.
Okay, okay, that has scarred me.
And just the word abort in lights behind the praise.
I am scarred.
It's barely got started yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're just pig monsters and simulated blood all over the place, and yeah, then it's gonna think. I think it's meant to be his wife there. I don't know, cleaning things. And the babies are actual pigs. There's little pigs running around all over the place, and yes. And now the pig monsters are having sex.
Okay, right.
Okay. And it's just all really perverse. And you just see suckling them at the prosthetic pig udders. I have no idea how this is still on YouTube, that like it hasn't been taken down for obscenity or something. But it's seriously...
you get to a place in your life where you think, I am a pretty sick individual.
Yeah.
And I like to think that I think pretty sick things. I do like to think that. Because I've had a lifestyle that has involved some pretty perverse stuff.
Yes.
Right? You know this. We've had many conversations about this. And
there's little demon piggies with glowing eyes.
It's comforting to know that you're not the sickest mother out there.
No.
When you see stuff like this and you go, okay, I have limits. The storm that I'm in, because when you're in the storm, you think the storm goes on forever, right? But when you're looking from the edge, you can see that the storm has a beginning and an end. And I've now come to realize there's a point where I no longer can out-perverse these individuals. I am clearly not as messed up as these people.
Yeah, well, he just shot the pig monster in the head with one of those pneumatic spike guns they use in slaughterhouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like 10 different kinds of wrong at the moment, and the dead piggies. I'll say it again, I don't know how this is still on YouTube. I don't go around asking for videos to be taken. I'm just impressed that this is still there after 2 years.
Yeah.
11.5 million views. So
clearly it's an educational thing.
I think so. It's just like,
clearly,
it's just. Oh, there you go. It's basically over. But yes, I don't know. Like, you know, maybe your life has been too scar-free, and if you follow what I just said, that's
my life has been pretty well scarred.
I know, right?
And I've had many scarifications. There's scarifications on my body that you can't see, because to show you the scarifications, I'd have to take my pants off.
Yeah.
And Angry has this thing about me taking my pants off on video.
Okay. I'm just saying, is there people saying there was echo on there? Is there still echo? I don't know. I had a bit of a problem with that before, but I turned the speaker off, so I don't know where it would be coming from if it's still there. But hopefully it's not too bad. Philosopher, that's a good point. Music videos can get away with a lot because they're art. Famously, Australian indie pop artist Brendan McLean put one out earlier this year, late last year, for his EP, and it was visualizing of that a text from the 70s, gay semiotics, like dressing in particular ways and having a handkerchief in particular pockets said, you know, what your preferred role is, and it got quite graphic, like not completely showing you the wang going in the holes, but leaving it into no doubt what these guys, this is not simulated, these guys are doing it. And there was pissing in it, and in fact right at the end someone shits on Brendan's head, like you see the butt sitting there, and someone with a fiber-rich diet drops a shit on Brendan's head, and that stayed up for quite a while, got 500,000 views, was clearly stayed as long as it did because, well, is it an artistic statement? You know, it was a reinterpretation of this text from the 70s, gay semiotics. It lasted for quite, to some really high profile people with big audiences. Like, I remember Philip DeFranco and PewDiePie both did, and they're basically, seriously, how is this still on YouTube? I'm having real, it's not like, this is not hate speaking, this is not saying get rid of this, but this is literally going, I'm having trouble comprehending.
I'm having trouble working out why this is still there.
Yeah. So to see that one, you have to go to another video sharing platform now.
In a galaxy far, far away, in a time long, long ago, there was a band called 9 Inch Nails.
Yes.
And in the very first Triple J Hottest 100, one of the very top songs was a song called Closer.
Yes.
And I was working at a cafe at the time. And we decided that our cafe music was going to be the Hottest 100.
Yes.
And every time Closer came on, we had to race out from the kitchen and press skip.
Yes.
Because the chorus basically goes, "I'm going to fuck you like an animal.
I'm going to feel you from the inside.
I'm going to feel you from the inside." And it repeats itself a few times.
Yeah.
And was very, very popular. It was very, very popular, and it marked a change in Triple J's history, where they said, we are no longer going to censor the songs as they go out. If the song comes in, it's just going to go out the way they sent it to us.
Yeah. They just do a thing like saying, "Oh, language warning," and then they play the song.
Well, back in those days, they didn't even do language warning. They played the song. Yeah. Later on, they said language warning. Yeah, be aware. Basically, it was at the time the most full-on thing there is. Now these days,
yeah, it's pretty run of the mill.
it's pretty, you know, it's pretty average. But at the time, it was very, very full-on.
Yeah.
And the film clip was basically protested by animal welfare groups because they had it was either a pig heart or a monkey heart that was electroded up.
Oh, so it beat, yeah.
So it beat, and it had compressed air and water going through it, so you could see this thing going off, and it was very disturbing. Anyway, this song had this piano riff in it. It was a very simple piano riff. And one night, I came home from gig at 4 o'clock in the morning, and my youngest brother, who was 4 at the time, he was 5 at the time, 5 and a half, nearly 6, had been told he was allowed to wait up to say good night to me as I come home. So I've come home, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, it's summertime in Australia, the sun is just sort of coming up, it's just sort of getting light outside, the birds are singing, I sneak into the house because everybody's quiet, and then on the piano I hear this piano riff, ding, 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 and I see my brother, who hasn't slept in a couple of days, and he's looking up at me going, "Hi, AIDzee, how was the gig, man?" And scared the shit out of me. I nearly died, and I was going, oh, some zombie is in the house going to kill me. Now, admittedly, I was slightly enhanced, but I mean, it was full on. It was very full on.
Yeah.
I hadn't done a gig in Canberra in like 2 years, and then I came home to this, and I'm going, oh my God. And so, yeah, I said goodnight, and we crashed. I had to get up then 2 hours later.
Yeah. There is incidentally a really good video on YouTube. It's been on YouTube for 10 years, where someone has used Closer, the Nine Inch Nails song, and spliced it up with bits of Kirk and Spock from the original Star Trek series, and makes it totally sexual, and makes it very clear that Kirk's the bottom and Spock is the top. And it's just, whoa, okay, it's freaky how well this fits.
Right.
Again, I mean, it only works with the music. I'm sure it's Closer, though. I just want to double check. If I go Star Trek 9 Inch Nails, it is Closer. And it's all done in sepia tones, so it's very tasteful. And
it's very tasteful. As soon as you do something in sepia tone, it's very tasteful.
Yeah. Oh no! Notice I was being asked about the Hanzo shirt. This is just something I got from a T Fury grab bag. Hanzo's a character. I don't even play Overwatch. My kids play Overwatch. This was like got out of a lucky dip. They've made a joke about Hanzo's being a breakfast cereal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not a Hanzo main. I don't really play Hanzo.
Do you know I can't play video games because my nerves are so bad that I can't actually coordinate button pressing.
Yes.
And so my video game play is so bad that I die every time I touch a video console. It's very annoying because I love video games.
You might be able to get into VR. I don't know, because they have simpler controls.
They're changing video games so that you can use eye movement.
Yeah, there's some gesture control ones.
They're also changing video games to get thought impulses.
Yeah.
That's very cutting edge research, but they reckon in the next 5-10 years, this stuff's coming out so that you'll actually be able to VR your way through a first-person shooter. Oh, yeah. Lovely
Dame asking, ever seen the It movie? No, I have not. I love that, Belinda. Someone dressed up as the clown and showed up in the cinema. That reminds me of a story that Sir Anthony Hopkins told back when he was Hannibal Lecter, that, you know, that's the first time a lot of people had heard of him. In an interview, he actually said, for fun, he'd started going into cinemas that were showing Silence of the Lambs, but he'd go in after the showing started and sneak in the darkness and sit behind someone. And after the movie's gone far enough and it's been creepy enough, he'd lean over the person in front of him's shoulder and say in the Hannibal Lecter's voice, "Are you enjoying it so far?" And oh, how they screamed, which would like disrupt the entire screening, of course. Because you can be the type like, okay, I don't believe in monsters and I'm not scared of the dark and whatnot. But when Hannibal Lecter literally appears over your shoulder.
Are you enjoying it so far?
Oh, Christ. Okay. No, Tendai, AIDzee can't play Dance Dance Revolution. He's got rheumatoid arthritis.
No, I can't play
He
Dance
walks
Dance
with
Revolution.
a stick.
I literally have a walking stick. When I stand on the Dance Dance Revolution thing, it looks at me going, "You're taking the piss, right?"
Look, there's a helpful tip from Daria of there are quest and strategy games that your reactions aren't time based. You just make decisions. That's a good one.
That's a good.
Yeah, and philosophers said it too. A turn-based game like Civ. There are a few turn-based games. Yeah, well, Belinda, funny talking about people dressing up as clowns, because these stories come out every now and then about people just dressing up as scary clowns and then just standing at the end of driveways and whatnot and creating small panics in towns. I did see there's some police outfit in the US who have a sense of humor. Like some people have been posting pictures of just like tying a red balloon, helium-filled balloon, to a sewer grate.
Oh,
So
God.
you know that image from it, and I saw one where someone said, "Oh, look, you know, this has been scaring people in town," and the local police force replied to the tweet, "No way, we're not going through this again. No, we hate clowns." The cops are saying, "No, this is all too scary. We're not dealing with it." But we both worked as clowns.
Yes, true story. True story. We did both work as clowns.
Okay, I've told this story probably multiple times, but there'll be people who here haven't seen it. This is my favorite clown story. Of the many, we do it in the local community. We went to college, a place called Bathurst, which is west of Sydney, at the foot of the mountains, just across the mountains from Sydney.
Yep.
And so we did a theatre degree. That's where we met each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we would often do events in the town. You know, we'd provide entertainment where we would learn clowning, like traditional white face clowning, and we'd school fates and other things. And there was a special needs school just down the sort of border of the college.
Mm-hmm.
It was right next door to the college, and they'd have a fete once a year, and they'd ask us to be clowns and be entertainment. And the one thing you learn from doing that is that, you know, we were like red-nosed clowns. Kids, little shit kids, would desperately try and take your red nose. And they're normally only this tall, so you can keep away from them so they can't get it. And I actually got a hat from the props department, this sort of Napoleon style hat. So they were trying to get my hat and my nose. It was double the pain. And I was trying to be, you know, sort of, and I also learned if I ever did slip and one of them actually got my nose and ran away, they want you to chase them, which is not really a dumb thing. But I learned that they would give it back if I sat down and started crying.
Yes.
Be a clown, and the kids would feel really bad, and they'd call you, "Have it, you jerk," and give it back. But they were little shits. And the kids, in fact, the special needs kids at the school just loved the clowns, possibly a little bit too much, and they were wanting to be a bit too close to you. But it was managing that. So the special needs kids were brilliant. They just loved the clowns. It was the other kids from town who were rotten little shits. And you know, basically the 8 to 12-year-olds, the little shits, and they're a bit tall, so they're trying to grab a nose. And there was one in particular who wouldn't leave me alone, and he wasn't tall enough to get my nose. So if I did this, he couldn't get it. But he wouldn't stop, and he was like hitting me, buffeting on me, and I'm going, "La la la, I'm a clown. La la, I'm not bothered. The children are wonderful. La la, the children. La 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 la." And I was just trying to get away from him, and he wouldn't stop. But I kept moving, and he kept following me. And I realized, without meaning to do it, I'd moved so far that I was basically out of sight of everyone. I was sort of gone behind a tent, and I hadn't meant to go out of sight, and this little bastard had followed me, and I just kind of realized no one could see me, and this kid who would not fucking go away, and I'm going, la, 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 I'm the clown, there's no one's between, and I just reached down and grabbed him by the front of his shirt and lifted him off the ground into my face and went, fuck off, kid, or I'm going to tear your fucking head off and shit down your neck, you cunt. And dropped him and went la, 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 back out to where the people were. And that kid was so traumatized. Because it wasn't just that I threatened him. He probably gets that from his dad all the time. But it was, I went, la, 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 fuck off or I'll kill you. La, 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 la. The switch between them, he couldn't actually process. And I could tell he was kind of thinking, did that happen?
Was that?
What?
Was that? Hang on, just I'm not sure what. I don't know. When I did the clowning, my my lecturer, wise man,
Yes.
Bill.
Oh, good old Bill.
Said, go to the gymnasium and get a box. And I went, like a carry box. He said, no, a cricket box.
Yes.
And I went,
the protector.
and
The cup, as Americans call them.
And I went, okay. So I went to the gymnasium and I talked to the rugby lads, and I said, oh, I've been, and they knew me because I'd been there for quite some time. Hey, what are you doing over here in the gymnasium? You're very far away from home. Ha ha
Yes.
ha ha ha.
You're not a sporty type.
You're not a sporty type. You're a theatre type. And I'd met a lot of these guys because we had done a big show. Every year they have this big race in Bathurst.
Oh yeah, there's a car racing and motorcycle racing track in the town. Mount Panorama. It's quite famous.
It's quite famous, and to pay for the course offered the city council entertainment in town, right? And so this show is bloody huge, and so we had to recruit people of other courses, of other schools. And so I knew these guys, and they said, "You're very far home," and I said, "Yes, I've been sent here to get a box," and they said, "Oh, you'd be doing the clowning then."
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, everybody knows something but me. And they said, okay, well, we'll have to fit you for your box. And I'm going, you get fitted for these things? And they said, well, yeah, you know, there's different sizes. And so I got given this thing that basically they said, what you'll need is a jock strap.
To hold it, yes.
And I've gone, I have no idea. And they said, don't worry, we'll take you through the process. And it's an elastic band, right, that holds this plastic cup, which goes over your genitalia, and there's an elastic band that goes underneath it, you know, basically through your legs, around your bum, and holds onto the elastic band around your waist. So you put this thing on, it's like a pair of backless undies, really.
Yeah, it's an odd sort of G-string, really.
You know, it's a very thick G-string. You put it on and you go, oh, okay. And they said, now, you wear your undies and you wear this over the top. Okay, and I'm okay, fine, do that. And so then I go out, la clowning, and these little bastard kids would come up and punch you in the balls.
Yeah, straight up punch in the junk.
And boom, straight in the junk. And I'm going, okay, I didn't expect that. Yeah. And this was so regular that my cricket box actually preserved a lot of my health for the 2 hours that I was there, and this was happening every 5 minutes, and I had no idea that this was a thing. And the other thing is that kids of a certain size have no spatial awareness. So basically they run around, and they don't know what's in front of them. And basically other people call them ball-seeking missiles. Yeah,
their little heads.
And their little heads go slam straight in. It's like, yeah, okay. And so yeah, I thanked my lecturer
Yeah,
later
it's all about
for helping me out there,
as a
and was able to complete my clowning, and never did.
No. Oh, hello, Screever has joined us in the chat. Trying the other clowning story from where I'm at college. We did an Oktoberfest once, and there were actually some German people. I mean, I think they were local residents, but they were migrants. You know, the German accent. And I remember one point I'm doing the clowning, and some of the kids going, ah, and he was like the stereotype, like the little fat kid from Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Little Hans, and he's and his mother goes, no, come away from him. And Dad, who's like into his 10th beer stein, he's like, oh, let him go, Lottie, it's just a clown. And Lottie says, clown or not, he's a stranger. And I was thinking, well, okay, hard to actually floor what you're saying, but fuck you anyway, Lottie. You know, it's like, you might not know me, but use your fucking brain, woman. I've been hired to do this. Like, I can't do anything wrong because I will get caught.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, but I was usually a mute clown. I didn't really talk much to kids because what are you going to say? Fuck off, you little bastard.
No,
no, it's just you do the I prefer to be a sort of Marcel Marceau type clown. I know. I reckon I'm the only one who finished that course with never learning to juggle. I literally think I was the only one because I could just never. No one. It wasn't a case of trying and failing. I could just never be bothered to try, and no one forced me to. You know, so I never learned to juggle.
It takes 20 minutes to teach someone to juggle. It takes 20 minutes.
And I know that.
It took me 4 months.
Yeah.
To learn how to juggle.
But you're special.
Because I was special and I just couldn't get it together. Then finally, when I got it together, I was put in a circus where I was a juggler. And I learned how to juggle balls and clubs and fire. And one of the things we did was we had these special gloves. And you get tennis balls that you wrap with a special material, and you soak them in a special fuel, and you'll light them on fire, and you're juggling these flaming balls. The thing with them is that this is going to sound weird. When you juggle your ball, you get used to the heft and the weight of the thing. When something's on fire, the actual flame provides air resistance to the thing that you're juggling. And so you've actually got to coordinate the thing way more slowly because they're going through the air more slowly. And as you're doing that and concentrating on this, the fuel basically drips onto the special gloves, the protective gloves, and your gloves go on fire. And so it's this thing you're going, do. Yes, here I am doing the patter. Here I am doing the patter. And eventually you notice, my hands are on fire. My hands are on fire. And I've got to keep on doing this until the next act comes on. And my hands are on fire. And my hands are on fire. And my hands are on fire. And I think I'm going to finish up early. And then you'd look across to the guy getting ready, and they're just doing, anytime, get ready to do your thing.
Yes, I'm on fire, dickhead.
I've got to tie this off because it's, oh no, I've got the knot wrong. No, really, just come on with anything. Come on now. And then happily, I had a friend who was a fire breather who said, why don't I just jump in between these two acts? And he's done the fire breathing thing, which I could do also, and I was actually supposed to do later. And I was able to get off and put my hands out. I talked to the guy who was coming on next and said, did you not notice my hands were on fire? And he's gone, oh, yeah, but I wasn't ready.
Yeah, some people. That's the thing, because also, you know, we learned at least basic gymnastics, acrobatics more than gymnastics, and we were both the understander. Stocky blokes. You basically get to be the base of the
People
pyramid.
stand on
Yeah.
you.
But it's not as hard as it sounds when you learn. It's all about center of gravity, and if you can get them at the right point so their weight actually just goes straight down through you, it's not as hard as it looks. And so you can get a few people.
You got to lock the right parts of you, and you're fine.
But yeah, if some dickhead goes slightly off center, it's a whole different kettle of fish. It's like we build a human pyramid with a lot of people and a lot of tiers, and the easiest way to get down is to collapse it, and everyone at the same time throws their arms and legs straight, and it looks spectacular. You go 1, 2, 3, bam, and the thing collapses, and it looks like it must hurt, but if you do it right and everyone does it at the same time, it doesn't. If some kid tries to climb down and throws off the balance of the entire pyramid, it collapses and tumbles, and people do get hurt, and you get sprains and occasionally breaks. It just takes one dickhead to screw things up, basically.
Yeah.
So I had the record in the acrobatics class. I mean, because I was in a different year to you anyway. But in my year, I had 3 injuries in a semester. None of them, no broken bones, fortunately. Everyone got at least 1 injury, like a fall. Yeah, just not even a sprain, but a strain. Yeah, when you fall and you're not supposed to put your arm out, but you sort of can't stop yourself from doing it. And then all your weight hits your wrist, and you're like, well, I'm not using that arm for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Even if you don't break anything, it's like, oh, well, geez, okay, that's not going to happen for a little while, is it? Everyone does that one. My grossest one, we were practicing. I was practicing getting hit, and supposed to go back with impact to make it look like you've been hit. It's like oof, and shuffle backwards, and I slid across the floor, and we were on mats in case we fell. It was good. And when I went backwards, I was right on the edge of the mat, and my feet slid backwards and dragged. And then there was a carpet, which I went onto, which has a lot more friction than the mats. So I went zzz on the mats, and then my toes hit the mat. They had like callus on the bottom of my big toe, and it just ripped it clean off. And fuck, that hurt. That's like this big chunk of film. SMP Films has come in to see Aussies getting. I don't think we need to, Corey. Just sober. Makes sense. SMP Films.
Yeah.
Corey, he's got a little tick next to his name and everything, and so it's really him.
Yeah. No, we're really.
It's afternoon. I'm not that I'm averse to day drinking, but
no one's averse to day drinking.
Yeah.
Later on, I have got my medication on me. So
you don't actually want to drink in the lead up to that, really? No. I had a few beverages last night. I like to. People have been watching know I like to flavour my alcohols. I discovered that the vodka that I mixed with lemon verbena rock candy, that is good in on itself. But that with elderflower liqueur and a little bit of lemonade or club sodas makes for this the girls, except they're yellow, so they we used to joke about me getting the pinkest fluffiest drink I could get from a bar. My latest wave of drinks were yellow. They kind of look a bit like urine samples. Like I did some vodka, got the lemon flavor and got some yellow color, some tequila with lemon peel. So I had all these drinks that basically look like urine samples. So
although we've all done that.
Yeah,
we've all done that. We've all gone. It's time for me to drink a urine sample.
Yeah.
Say for example, one was in a testing scenario, in a screening scenario, and one's produced one sample, and it's clearly got solids in it that are going to test positive. The only thing to do is to recycle. You know, it's fine. You can do that. Tastes like this.
Yeah. Look, rainbow shits and vanilla with a teaspoon of vodka is apparently my favorite. I'm concerned about the rainbow shits part. I don't know what that is. I tell you what I like recently. I got blue absinthe just because it goes a nice color in lemonade. Because there's a make, I think it's French, Jacques Sirot or whatever, higher alcohol than other spirits. Even the milder stuff tends to be 50% or even 60% alcohol. Jacques Sirot don't fuck around. They like color code them. Green, which is like a traditional absinthe color, their green absinthe is, I think, 75% alcohol.
Right.
And then they have a red one that's 80% alcohol.
Right.
No, wait. The green is 70%. The red is 75%. And then they have a black absinthe that's 85% alcohol. Yes. Yeah, Corey left YouTube 12 years ago after he posted the first video. You're like, left the room. Oh, yeah. I love the like licorice flavor because it's aniseed based.
I am allergic to the licorice, and I was on a film shoot after being at a party the night before, and I'd had a heap of absinthe, and I'm just walking down, and I'm talking to the people at the film shoot, and I stop, hurl, go, there you go, and then keep on going.
Yes.
Because the film shoot had to keep on going. And everybody sort of looked at me and went,
do you remember Paul Drowsy on grog?
oh, God.
A guy we went to college with. Like we were basically we were there out of high school, as a lot of uni people are. But the course we're in had a lot of mature age students.
Yeah.
And he was a mature age student. I was in his 40s when he was there. Anyway, he had a serious fucking drinking problem, this guy. And he had a very unusual surname that you only, I'm not joking, you only had to, he had a hyphenated last name. And you only had to change a couple of letters of his last name for it to be Drowsy on grog. So that's what he became known as, Paul Drowsy on grog. And he was renowned because, like a lot of us, who got really drunk, was a real shit talker and would just go on. And he was renowned for, like, at parties and stuff, when he's had way too much drink, regaling people, going blah, 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 pausing for a second, hurling to the side, and they're just going straight back into
the conversation.
And of course, everyone around him is going, "Oh, fucking God!"
Everyone was like, "Oh, fucking hell!" And he's like, "Blog." And anyway, and it's like, right. Did you want to maybe clean that up?
Yeah, no, and he'd act like it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, and it was he was just, he would do it all the time. And it was like classic.
Yeah. He was had a serious, I think he stopped, but he's had a serious drinking problem as well. Of course, who's just moved to Oklahoma, saying they only sell alcohol that goes up to 3.2%.
Wow.
Got to drink a shit ton to feel anything. Oh my God. Okay, Corey, when you next get to Australia, I'm not saying if, because you've got to bring, I'll work with you, have the family come out here for a holiday or something. There is this super evil drink that some bottle shops carry now. It's like a pre-mixed drink called Little Fat Lamb. And there'll be lemon flavor. There's one that kind of pretends it's cider, but it's not cider. I think the base of all of them is some really cheap vodka. But I think I don't taste that bad, right? But you get this bottle, and it's like, it holds about a litre, I think, which they sell for about $10 to $12, depending where you're getting it. And that's like 7 or 8 standard drinks. In terms of like bang for buck, as in the amount of alcohol you get for the money you spend, nothing, like even, being affluent and having the money to buy like a bottle of vodka or something, in terms of volume and dollars and standard drinks, I think it basically compares with pure spirits. And it's not pure spirits, it's diluted. So, I mean, if you're sensible, you'd put it in a punch or something, but you can drink it straight. And I mean, seriously, that is getting shit-faced for $10. And it's dangerous as hell.
It's really scary. And you see people drinking Little Fat Lamb, and you see 2 or 3 of them lined up, and you go,
no, or walking after a while.
In fact, and you just go, the bar's got to cut you off.
Yeah.
The bar has to cut you off.
Yeah.
You can't keep on doing that, or
No.
you're going to hospital.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like deceptively alcoholic. Like your average, so it basically costs not much more than like an imported cider, like one of those bloody recordly things at a bottle shop.
Yeah.
Or maybe cost as much as 2 of them,
Yeah.
but has 5 times the alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so dangerous. And because they flavor it, it's like fruit flavors. You know, you'll get raspberry and you get lemon and you'll get tropical, and there's some that pretend their ciders, like one's apple flavored and one's pear flavored, and it's so fucking dangerous. Like, not every bottle shop sells it. I'm not sure what the dealio is with determining what bottle shop does it, but I someone had told me about it and I'd never heard of it, and then I forgot about it, and then I was in a bottle shop and I was getting something else, and I looked at this thing and I was going, what's that? And I looked at the alcohol content and holy fuck, wait, this is that thing they told me. Little Fat Lamb is like, country kids now have it at parties all the time because it's really cheap and gets you totally fucking hammered. And because it tastes like, God knows how much sugar is in it, because it tastes like cordial, and it's just gets you so hammered.
It must burn all the way down.
Oh, it's really.
It must burn all the way down. It must be like, you know, throwing back a single malt.
Yeah, I reckon it's like a 40.
Snorting a single
malt. Those ones they sell in the 7-Elevens in the US, the 40-ounce malt liquor. I reckon it's as dangerous as that. Or what was the one that they tried to ban, Four Loko, because it had caffeine as well?
Yes,
and it gave you that thing of like, you're drinking alcohol, but the caffeine makes you think you're still okay, so you drink more of it.
Yeah,
it's super dangerous. But yeah, Corey, Record League. I think Record League's too sugary. It's just like kind of cordials, and because, you know, cider's been really trendy for the last 10 years. There's always a huge amount of ciders, of our particular local ones in Australia. There's some very good ones. I just snorted a little bit there. SMP Films, have you ever tried butt chugging? I believe you're referring to that concept that's possibly fictional, possibly not, where young jock types do a handstand, and then someone gets a funnel and a rubber hose and sticks it up their butt, and they pour the alcohol up their butt with the theory that your intestinal walls absorb the alcohol.
I can't confirm or deny any butt chugging.
No,
it is illegal on YouTube to promote.
Yes, you can't really talk about things like that. Yes,
I can't say that I had help standing on my arms, which aren't very strong.
Yes.
I can't say that 4 people helped me, and I can't say that you need to lube that pipe.
So you also, that reminded me of something that was
lube the pipe.
We did in a video ages ago, when this is back when Gillard was Prime Minister, because her dude, the first bloke, actually was trying to encourage men to get prostate exams.
Yes.
And he made a joke about, oh, maybe you want to get one of those Asian lady doctors to do it because they have the little hands and the little fingers. To which this man says no, because he's been and had so many medical procedures, and so many people have probed and inserted in things, and you had what probably your worst one ever was a little Asian lady doctor.
I tell you what, so okay, right now I'm gonna do this in a medical way. All right, I'm gonna say this, right? This is a simulacra of an anus, right? Now you're not docking Thunderbird 5, right? You're not. No, that's not how it's done. Okay, what you do is you roll in. Okay, that's how it's done. You roll in, and then you get out what you need, and then you withdraw. Right? she's come in basically like a Russian probe and like slammed that in there. I've screamed the scream, right? And out of my lips has come, bloody hell, that's hurt. We're not sending you in to do the courtesy finger. And the nurse's station has pissed itself laughing. Like, there was one guy literally crying into his files. They were all trying to keep professional, and they were just losing their minds. And she's going, well, what do you mean? I'm going, look, this is how it's done. And she was basically checking for
the old prostate exam
illnesses, right? You know, she was basically looking for blood in the stool. And I said, no, there's not.
Well, if it wasn't until
you were there. And, you know, and I said, why would I lie about something like that? And
incidentally, that line ended up being in a stage show that our mutual friend Emma did. AIDzee directed her show, which was about sex. It was actually called Fuck, a Love Story. And that line about you're not lending Thunderbird 5. That was my favorite line. And so I said to Emma at the time, I want to get you in videos solely to use that line. I want an excuse to use that line. So we invented the character who gave relationship advice and sex advice. And
very well.
Yeah, and had many fruitful things there. And it was solely triggered by that line made me laugh so much. I wanted to use it in a video. So.
Yep.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, it wasn't a very good day. Unfortunately, I had come in with some illnesses, and they put catheters, as in vein catheters in, 2 on each arm, and one on each leg, and 1 on each foot. And I said, why so many? And they said, oh, we expect you to have a seizure. And we need to get a line in somewhere, and we need to basically access one that isn't shaking around. And I've gone, that's comforting.
That's forward thinking on their part.
That's forward thinking on their part and comforting.
Yeah.
I'm going, I'm not going to have a seizure. Shake. And as soon as I've come out of it, I've gone, you had to say it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You had to say it, didn't you? You know, and I ended up having 3 lines in me, and I'm going, what are these all for? And going, well, this is for this, and that's for that, and this is for this. And so I'm going home tonight. No.
This guy always fights tooth and nail to not get admitted to hospital or get out as quickly as he can. I'm just always, how do they ever let you out? I don't understand. How does any medical professional look at you when you're in one of these states and go, no, you should probably be on the street.
You should probably go now.
Yeah.
Go now.
Corey's always thinking, so when next time it's anal probe time, hide something up there to surprise them. You know, some BBs or one of the sticky ants.
Been there.
Yeah. One of those
had a little model of the Statue of Liberty, just because I thought that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Right. And so they've taken that out and gone, what's that? And I said, well, it's the Statue of Liberty. And they've gone, well, okay, that's different. I said, did you find the Eiffel Tower?
Oh no.
And no one did, which weirded me out, because where did that go?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not like
they often don't get your sense of
cast iron. Come on.
They often don't get your sense of humour. Like times you've gone in and they were going to do an arthroscope and an endoscope at the same time. Well, and so I go in and go, oh, it's finger cuffs today, is it, AIDzee? One from each end. And they just look at us and they go, what? Does everyone not say that?
And I went in one time, and they've given the colonoscopy and the endoscope, and I said, oh, do you know what you're in for? And I said, oh yeah, the full spit roast.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, that got such bad looks.
And they looked at me like going, what? And I said, well, from both ends, the spit roast. And they've gone, is that what you think of us?
That I remember that going down like a lead balloon.
And I'm going, well, you know, because it's, you know, because you know.
It's you, dude. Like we seriously, I don't know if I'm going to get to travel to the US anytime soon, Corey. But we definitely we have to talk about your family coming out to visit this wide brown land. But back to work, buddy. Enjoy. But yeah, the petite wallabies past 2 a.m. Who can go to bed when there are anal probe stories to be shared? That's, you know.
I don't know. I can't go to bed because they're usually happening to me.
Petite wallaby, she's one who does those cartoons like when you complained I was torturing you with the horror movie for our watching videos thing. She did the awesome thing where I'm the Tasmanian devil and you were a wombat, and I was just laughing at your discomfiture, and he does awesome cartoons.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that one. That was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, which of course I still have somewhere on my hard drive somewhere, along with I've got an angry birthday cake in one. Or my favorite when a mutual friend John was visiting Australia at the same time, and we're on the Great Ocean Road. You know, I always take people on the Great Ocean Road when they visit here because it has nice views. But there's this place where all these parrots will come down and eat out of your hand.
Yeah.
And some of them, there are a few different sorts, and some of them are reasonably big. And you get a bit scratched by their claws, and they might peck you a bit. They're not too bad. But we were down there, and some sulphur-crested cockatoos came.
Now,
and
those bastards,
they have really big hook beaks, and they're not gentle. And John started feeding the cockatoos, and I was sort of going, you don't want, because they're bigger for a start. So well, you seriously don't want them to land on you just because of their claws. So they're on the ground. So he leans down to feed them, and I go, hold your hand really flat if you're going to do that. But some of the seeds went down the cracks between his fingers, and so the cockatoo went to get them and bit down on his finger really hard, like really hurt him. And I'm just standing there trying not to laugh and failing really badly.
So, mate, these buggers have been known to break bone.
Oh yeah, their beaks are that strong.
Right, they basically crack nuts with their beaks. They're like they're like vice grips with like sharp bloody edges, and they go crack.
Yeah.
And they'll get right into nuts and then and get them open because they eat gum nuts.
Yeah, they eat hard seeds basically.
You know, they're very hard and they crunch right through them and then get into them.
But being on this thing with a tourist and telling him it's perfectly okay to feed the birds, and seeing him go to a bird that you probably don't want to do it with and go, be a bit careful, mate.
Not that one.
And then chomp, scream of pain, and trying and failing not to laugh. You know, it's just like trying not to laugh and just failing. It's just like, I know you are genuinely in a lot of pain, but it's funny to me.
Seek medical attention.
Yeah,
but
it's just funny to me. Yeah, he was lucky. It just got the fleshy bit and really bit down. So it just hurt like a mofo. But yeah, it's the other thing.
And you've got to instantly, the worst part about a cockatoo bite is you've got to disinfect because they don't clean their beaks after eating, right? So they're full of bacteria. So you've got to disinfect the wound with anything alcohol-based, and it stings like a bitch.
Yeah.
So you get in there and like clean, and you're bleeding, right?
Yeah.
So you you're getting the bleed happening.
Yeah.
And so you've got to get these like alcohol swabs, and then and the best way to do it is to get a cotton ball and to get isopropyl alcohol onto the cotton ball because you need a lot.
Yeah.
And then you clean it up, and close the wound. And you can see this weirdly square cut on your finger. It's a weird square cut as the beak goes through, and you're like, get that, and this song of pain, and then you bind it with as much band-aidery as you can, and then try and get it as tight as you can to stop the bleeding, because if you don't, You don't. People had their fingers amputated.
Yeah, from
because it's
infection.
gone infected.
Well, John was really lucky; he didn't actually break the skin. Oh yeah, Corellas are different to bloody sulfur crested. With it, Corellas also don't have as mean beaks as sulfur crested
No,
do.
they don't. No.
And hey, Ulioth, hello there. Yeah, we are blessed with many and varied cockatoos and parrots in Australia. I like Corellas, the ones that look like they've got black eyes. They have that bit of skin around their eyes.
They've got this thing, and they just sort of they sit there, and it's like, you know, did you get a punch on?
Yeah, did you get up to some mischief?
Like, no, it's so good. It's just just drinking mates.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
It's not like that.
It's not. You know, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
Trying to work out what this is. Sorry. Yeah. So Redbot, your Corella is scared of blood oranges. That is unusual. That's not something I really expected to hear about a Corella, that it was scared of blood oranges. But I'm a fan of blood oranges, actually. They're very good in drinks.
They're good to eat too.
Yeah. Yeah. My one of my brothers, philosopher. Well, see, it's the afternoon. I've got we've got nothing to do. It's 2 hours, no, 2.5 hours so far. So you know, we're setting records here, because normally I do them at night. I don't start till 8, and I like to go to bed around 10, and so they go for 2 hours or less. Gaming freak, hello, how you doing? I love that Redbot that found out today. It's like, yes, I never knew my Corella was scared of blood oranges, but I came at them with a blood orange today, and now I know they're scared of them.
Yeah. Redbot. What we tend to find is if you throw blood oranges at Corellas, baseball style, they will dodge them. Maybe you should cut them open first and just offer, instead of just throwing the blood orange at the Corella. I'm just, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Try baseballs. Maybe that'll happen as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we what's the one that they used as the mascot of the village fair? The Major Mitchell one. They the Major Mitchell beer tent, and because there's like a pinkish cockatoo.
The Major Mitchell is it's the same family. It's a parrot family, and it's weird. It's a tall, skinny one.
Yeah.
With big, stubby wings.
Right.
And the whole idea of it is that your parrot family lives in forests, right? So they've got stubby wings, so they can get around forests very quickly, and not run into trees. Okay. But your Major Mitchell lives in the desert, and he goes from tree to tree and has to navigate the tree to get the nuts and stuff, but then he has to fly. So his wings are fatter, not so long, but fatter, so that he can glide fairly well. So he'll hit an upward current in the desert, fly up, find a tree, dive down to it, eat everything that's there, go back in, find another current, and then find another tree. And you see about 300 of these things doing the same thing at once, and they'll all spiral up, and then at once they'll all attack a tree. And everything in the tree, like a budgie or a small parrot, will bugger off because the Major Mitchells have turned up.
Yeah.
The only bird that basically scares all the other birds is the black cockatoo. These things are enormous.
They're the big ones.
Right?
Black cockatoo.
They stand sort of thigh high, right? And they've got this red crest on them, but the rest of them are black, and you can hear them thwomp, 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 coming through the forest. And I saw one once, Blue Mountains, and he's landed on a branch, right, on a tree, and the branch broke under him.
They're basically like a small dog with feathers.
feathers. He's a big bastard.
And the beak is like this particularly wickedly curved scimitar. They're
Yes, it's
huge
really-
fucking curve point beak.
It's really
But mind you, my God,
vicious.
read Bot's whole story. Normally feed your bird normal oranges. You had a blood orange cut into quarters and passed over and not well received, and you got bitten on the face.
Bloody hell.
Holy cow. I like Peter's story about black cockatoos. They beat tree stumps with sticks they find.
Yeah.
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 Just like, this is mine.
This is mine. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It's like, okay. Well, it's weird because you see, you're looking at a tree and there's all birds in it, and then they all bugger off.
Mm.
You go, what happened there? Is there like a fox or something? And then, thump, thump,
Yes.
thump. Then the black cockatoos arrive, and you go,
The big guy wanted the
That'll
tree.
be it. Yeah, that'll be it. No one wants to be around when the black cockatoos
No.
around. Yeah, no.
The sorry, just one of weird bird behaviors. Not cockatoo as a bird of prey. When I had a holiday up in Darwin years ago, and there are these little raptors called kites. And I forget what their name. I think they just call them black kites or something. The little ones, they're the equivalent of pigeons in Darwin. There are so many of them, and they all hang around the rubbish dump. They're like scavengers and doing. But when we're on like a tour in Cockatoo, the park ranger he's talking about, in the dry season, bushfires can be a big risk. And they have a real problem because if you got like grassland that catches on fire and the fire travels, all the little marsupials and mice and rats are running ahead of the fire to get away from it. And the kites just think like smorgasbord and are just swooping down and picking off
they can.
things that they love it, to the extent that if the fire starts to die down, the kites will swoop in and pick up a burning stick and drop it in another bit of grass so the fire keeps going. So more food. So the fire control people really fucking hate these kites because good. Oh, Screevy, you're in Tassie, are you? Tassie was a good place for a holiday too. That's the interesting thing. Of course, the most famous by name is the Tasmanian devil. And they're not real bright. They have a problem the last 10, 20 years. A communicable cancer has been killing them.
And there's been a lot of research about that.
For two reasons. One, they want to save devils. Two, the idea of a cancer that's transmitted through a bite scares the shit out of cancer researchers. The idea of you being able to have a contagious cancer. The idea of that jumping species scares the shit out of cancer.
So there's no lack of money on researching.
So for the two reasons, we want to save the devils because their population's been reduced by like 90%. And just the idea of a contagious cancer scares the shit out of people.
Yeah, the CDC is all over this one. I need you to hold down the fort for a second.
All right.
I'll be back.
Okay, doing the necessary. Well, I will hold the fort. Yeah. Screever, do you live in like one of the bush areas in Tassie or in one of the cities? I did a little driving holiday there with Mrs. Angry a few years ago. It's very nice, but I can imagine life could get a bit boring down there. Tendai, your granddad's farm had a lot of weaver birds. What country is that in? I'm trying to think, because I know weaver birds are fairly widespread. I know they're in Africa. They're probably all over the place. Birds being birds, they can migrate, of course. Northwest Coast in Burnie. Okay. Yep. Oh my God, anyone who was on the Thursday night stream when Viola was visiting will know this. One of the saddest things that Tasmania is famous for is Australia's worst gun massacre, which happened at a tourist spot. And had Viola over on Thursday, and she was talking about how she was in Tasmania on holidays when that happened, and she and her family were due to go to this particular tourist spot where the shooting happened on the day of the shooting, but circumstances changed and they just didn't go. And then on the news that night, they're like, holy fuck. And then it turned out by pure random chance, there was someone else in the stream who had exactly the same thing. They were there, they were going to go to the tourist spot where the shooting happened, and they didn't. And that was crazy. Oh, there you go, Tendai. Look, now I look smart. I knew weaver birds were African. You live in Zimbabwe. And you're right, philosopher. Of course, HPV is communicable to sexually transmitted cancer, but now we have the vaccine. And I just remember when that was being rolled out around the world, some evangelicals in America objected to teenagers being given the HPV vaccine because they thought if the kids knew they were less likely to get this particular life-threatening STI, they'd be more likely to have sex. So these evangelicals in the US actually tried to stop kids getting the HPV vaccine because they preferred the idea of kids dying to kids having sex.
Yeah.
I mean, what in the actual fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you when your thinking gets to that? And this is why I try to explain to people why does the evangelical mindset piss me off so much? And they're on about, you know, whether it's the gays or the promiscuous, and why they anti-abortion, because you can't stop abortion. You can only make safe abortion harder to get. Historical data shows that the abortion rate barely changes when it's legal and when it isn't. What changes is how safe it is and how many women die. You need to understand these evangelicals actually think women who would get abortions deserve to die. And they think the gays deserve to have AIDS. They think people who have sex deserve to have sexually transmitted infections. Oh yeah, Peter, we did talk. PD, look, I've got the letter here. We were reading bits of this. It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Apparently you're responsible.
I am. I was trying to find a good section where I was responsible for downtro. No, there's a bit where I'm a lost cause.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've known this guy for quite some time, and
yeah,
frankly,
and you see, this is where he's okay. He's upset with you because you're bisexual. AIDzee being a bisexual is a perfectly imperfect situation. Since he is attracted to both males and females, he can reduce temptation to fall into sin by hanging around women, or at least more women than men. So then if he fell into temptation and had premarital sex, the odds are increased it would be with a woman rather than a man. Now, as I said at the time, the first time I read that, if you were single, you'd be all for that. You'd just be put me in the largest group of people possible who are all keen to have sex with me, and I'm going to be happy with any outcome. So,
well, see, that's what happened. See, I was, okay, when I was living on my own, I had a group of neighbours who were very friendly, and we had many discussions, and they said, do you prefer guys or girls? And I said, I don't care. See, okay, so let me just quickly take you through a thing. Bisexuality is a spectrum.
Yes.
And you tend to get people who are bisexual who are more likely to go for the girls or more likely to go for the guys. Okay.
Yeah.
I am what's termed.
So I'm just gonna say bye, Pity Wallaby, because she's going because it's like Wallaby. 2:30 in the morning.
Sleep well. Sleep well.
4:30 in the afternoon.
I am what's called a classic bisexual, which means I don't actually care.
Such a classic.
And it's actually quite rare. I didn't know that until a few years ago. It's actually quite a rare situation. Usually you prefer one or t'other. I don't. I like everyone. I only found out a few years ago that people like myself are quite rare, where you don't mind what turns up. What turns up turns up. And if they're into it, they're into it, and that's great. I've always been very honest with the people I've been with. I've always said, you know, when you're with me, I have had history with all kinds of people, and some people don't like that, and that's fair enough. They walk away. Some people go, I don't care, and that's fine. We keep going. And my boyfriend turned up, and my boyfriend is half my age, and my neighbour set us up.
That's right. You got blind dated. That's the best part of it.
By my neighbour, and so he said, "Oh, I've set you up with a date," and I'm going, "Oh, okay." I hadn't had my teeth fixed. There was health problems going on, and there was other things going on, which I was just going, this is not the time. Because my thought was I was going to get my teeth fixed and get back in the pool, and everything was going to be okay. And there was going to be other things that I needed fixed up as well, but we won't go into them here because they're quite graphic. And basically, he's gone, I've set you up with this guy, and I'm going, oh, nice, okay, fair enough. And he's half your age, and I'm going, when is this going to happen? How is this going to work? You know, he's basically, you know, he's a top-rating bloody student in a prestigious university who's, you know, pulling down good grades, and he's half my age, and you know, and then there's me, who's basically basically an unemployed comic who does YouTube videos with AngryAussie, you know, and I went, okay, look, I'll go and meet the guy. I hadn't even cleaned up the flat. I didn't even clean up the flat. I basically set up videos on YouTube, which I was going to watch. Yeah. So I was going to watch these videos on YouTube, and I was going to go for an hour. I was going to go for an hour to meet this guy, and you know, just to not offend my neighbour, because I was going to blow off the date. Because you know, when's that going to happen? You're going to meet someone half your age, and that's going to work. Anyway, so I've turned up. 3 hours later, we're still talking, and he comes back to my flat, and I'm just about to open the flat, and I'm going, oh shit, I didn't clean up. Oh no, this is going to be bad. This is going to be very bad. So I open up the flat going, oh no, he's going to see this flat. And go, oh my God. So he's opened up the flat, not said a word, and I've gone, that can be good or bad. I later went to his house, and his room was a freaking nightmare. Basically, it looked like a bomb had gone off. And I've gone, so my flat was actually comparatively clean compared to his. And we've been basically together ever since. Weird. You know, it does work out that way.
While you were telling us, I was just trying to find things in here, and one of my favorite lines is where he is. I love this great. Also, because you're bisexual, you might be saved. If we only put you around women, then you'll only have sex with it. But one of my favorite lines here is where he gets to saying that I had it. He was saying it's all my fault.
With great power.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh God, I had it a second ago. Oh yeah, here it is. So he's going, after going about, well, you're bisexual, you might be safe to free and put you around women. And then he's saying, you're a bad influence on him.
That's you are a bad influence on me, which, that's funny.
Yeah. You encourage AIDzee to commit such whoredoms as homosexual activity. I personally just like the idea of you committing whoredoms. I don't know what whoredoms are, but I just like the idea of you committing whoredoms. What's AIDzee doing? I don't know. Probably committing whoredoms. I mean, that's a thing.
No, it's better than that. It's better than that. You've got a floppy hat. You get a big floppy hat and, and a big purple coat.
Yes.
And you go, more money, bitch. Go and get me some more money.
I'll be the pimp. Yeah.
You know, and I'm just, yes, Angry. I'll go and get you some more money.
Yes.
And so, you know, and so you got to imagine Angry on a street corner with a stick.
Yeah.
And me standing
Bitch
there
better have my money.
in my revealing clothing, making me commit whoredoms.
Yes, definitely.
Leaning into car windows, going,
"Hi, big boy.
You want some of this, mate? You want a bit of this?
Hey, mister, want to spend some time?
You want it? Why are you driving away? Why are you driving away?" And you know, and I'm thinking, yes, you're encouraging me to commit whoredoms. Or how the hell else are we going to make money out of YouTube?
I know, right? See, Evil Hub, you're asking, you know, AIDzee being charged with whoredoms, how do you plead? On his knees. Trouble is, just leads to more whoredoms. He starts on his knees pleading. One thing leads to another. More whoredoms.
You know, get the money first.
Yeah.
Get the money first.
Yes.
Just
Okay.
thing.
Man with a 10. Do bisexual people are they sexually attracted to transgender people? That's going to depend on the individual.
Well,
That's what we're talking about, a spectrum.
I mean, okay, so what you're talking about there is pansexual people and technically be pansexual as well. Because, okay, so for me, I have had relations with transgender people in the past, and that never bothered me. Because, okay, for me, the genitalia part is secondary. It's the person part that's primary. So if I'm attracted to you as a person, we'll work out the genitalia a bit later. Does that make any sense?
Sorry, I'm not loving you. Evil Hub's on a roll in your court. Can you please show the court where the accused head was during committing the act of whoredom? Well, it was there, and it wasn't in one place, is what we're saying. It went, but yeah, it went back and forth a lot. That's the whole problem. It wasn't just in one place.
You know, there's technique.
Yes.
There's technique, is what I'm saying. So yeah, for me, transgender people, it's the same gender. I tell you, that's actually the best way to put it. Is for me, everybody is the same gender, right? For me, everybody is the same gender. It's the person that I'm interested in. If you interest me as a person, then whatever your gender is, whatever your thing is. I mean, I'm very vanilla. That's also the bizarre part. Is I'm very vanilla. I'm very boring when it comes to things that I do. But anyone's gender is the same to me. So the person comes first. If we can have a laugh and have fun together as people, then we can take that the next step and have fun sexually as well. There's all kinds of ways to have a sexual experience with a person. I think that's the easiest way to put it. I think that's the I think that's the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
It's the person comes first. The gender is a thing that comes with the person. The person comes first.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Just by the way, Evil Hub did rightly pick out just when I started reading that stuff that it was clearly VD's letter. This is the other reason that worried me. See how he addresses stuff? It's just up there.
Oh, okay.
See, this is the envelopes. He says, like, a normal person would put the address here, which you see is blank, and he's just squiggled it up in the top left-hand corner here, which something about that was really unsettling to me.
That is disturbing.
There's something really weird. This is one of his other letters that was shorter, I love this. Like, we had the key points as to why I'm a lost soul, and you know, they're fucking spot on. You know, my abominable views. Like, some of your abominable views are as follows: you support homosexuality, bleh. Belief in no good, bleh. Absolute refusal to acknowledge a different opinion. Not strictly speaking true. I acknowledge, much like
just doesn't agree with.
yeah. What's the line Sam Jackson as Nick Fury said in one of the Avengers movies, where that board that he's meant to answer to, say he's meant to do something, and he refused to follow their order. He goes, "The board told you to do it. I recognize the board made a decision, but being as it's a stupid ass decision, I chose to ignore it."
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I recognize that you have a different opinion. Just choose to like acknowledge that it's a stupid opinion. Yeah, and we won't be spending time on it.
That's right. They were going to bomb New York.
Oh, RedBot. No, he's not watching. He's in jail. I don't know. Yes. No, that's just Jehovah's Witness stuff. Look, I got so much. Did I tell you? Thanks, because I asked for it. I've got a Quran and a New Testament and a Bible. My most recent delivery. Where'd it go? I haven't checked this one out, but Introduction to the Catholic Faith.
Oh.
You decide if this rings true.
Ooh.
But yeah. So this is for converts.
Oh wow.
I love this. All right. No, sorry. No, I misread that. There. That's just on the cross. One chapter's called In the Name of the Father. The next chapter's And the Son, and the last one's And the Holy Spirit. That's the. No, the RedBot. He doesn't. Those are old letters. He doesn't write anymore. I don't think they let him have sharp objects in jail, like a pen or pencil.
Yeah, because it gets awkward.
He is a unit. He is a serious unit. Evil Hub. Yes, I think we're both familiar with Red Dwarf. You know Red Dwarf, don't you?
Who?
Yes.
I do know Red Dwarf. I have actually met Lester.
Oh yeah, well,
as well. He's okay. A nice guy.
Yes, yes, they've both done lots of stuff over the years. Just trying to find out, was there another letter that had anything interesting? Because yeah, he sent a couple letters before he ended up in jail. Oh, okay, that's the what do you call it? The Mormon Testament and Proclamation and Articles of Faith.
Okay.
I did not quite realize how out there Mormons were before the sent me some stuff, and I went, really? That I knew it was. Well, you know, I mean, following Joseph Smith, the most obvious charlatan in modern religion, and that's saying something. Which is not to say the other religious leaders aren't charlatans. He's just the most obvious one.
Yeah. You also talking Elron?
Yeah, I just don't think Scientology even counts as a religion. I mean,
okay.
Honestly, Mormonism is a bit out there, but it's established with churches and whatnot, and yes, okay, Joseph Smith was nothing but a scammer, but you know, I'll give people in the modern Mormon Church the benefit of the doubt in that they're not premeditated. Oh, this was the joke we had. I was supposed to send back donations to this evangelical group that some of VD's stuff came from. Everyone was suggesting I sent porn back in this because yeah, I just thought that was a bit mean. That's like sending someone dick pics.
Yeah.
So I decided not to.
Do you want to send them scar pics?
Your scar pics?
Well, I just figured, you know, I've got some very interesting scars.
I know. No, again, I've told people about this before. If you've never seen it, search AIDzee code Grey on YouTube, and
you'll see them.
Yeah, because he actually does full nude. But I shot a lot of behind the scenes videos as well in the rehearsal phase of the stage show that AIDzee did a few years ago, Code Grey, and there's one where you and the Reverend Doctor are actually looking at your post-surgery photos, and that you never see what they're looking at. These pictures of AIDzee's thighs where all the flesh is being cut away and it's healing in a gross way, and they're just trying to think of ways to describe it. It's going, looks a bit like a shark's been chewing on you. And then you've been in a terrible fire.
So basically, to let everyone in, the short story was, I got bitten by an ant on my scrotum.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's just say it was in my pants and I sat on it.
Yes.
And it freaked out and it bit me.
Yes.
Okay, let's just say that. Okay, because that's probably what happened. Now, ants have a terrible habit of not cleaning their mandibles when they eat. And so I got infected. My scrotum got infected and it blew up to the size of a grapefruit.
Which you were initially just really proud of.
I was stoked.
Yeah.
Right? Next morning, I've woke up and I've gone to the lady wife, check this out. If this stays like this on Monday, I shall go to the doctor on Tuesday. This is on Sunday. And she's gone, we are going to the hospital now. And so we go to the hospital, get to the hospital, and basically it's swelling and hurting. And nurse comes along and says, you'll be needing some pain relief for that. And so she gets the doctor, and the doctor gives me some paracetamol. Thanks, big guy. And she comes back and says, how'd you go? And I said, oh, you gave me some paracetamol. And she goes, oh, you useless prick. I'll go and bully one of the students into giving you something decent. So she goes into the students' lounge and yells at one of those students, you've got to go and write up some morphine for this guy. And he goes, I just did my urology rounds. I'd better look at it. Otherwise, my professor will yell at me.
Yeah.
So he comes back and looks at it and goes, oh, my God, get everything that looks like an antibiotic and start pumping it into him right now. And he gets on the phone. In 30 minutes, I'm upstairs and there's 45 doctors looking at me. Right? When you got that situation going on, you know you're in trouble. And one of these interns who was trying to put in parts of himself in another intern says on his way out, we're very lucky to see this. We usually only get to see this in post-mortem slides. And that's not something you want to hear.
No.
Anyway, so what I got was a condition called Fournier's gangrene. I'm doing you a solid. Don't look that up on image search.
Everyone always does. Whenever we mention Fournier's gangrene, which is a form of necrotizing fasciitis that tends to attack men's scrotums, say you don't go into Google image search and do Fournier's gangrene. People do, and then they come back. Oh my eyes, my eyes!
I'm scarred, right? You know. And so basically, this infection meant that they had to cut off my scrotum. Ow. And it had also spread to my leg, so they had to cut a steak-sized portion out of my leg. And effectively, they built me a new scrotum. That was 9 months later. And
oh yeah, the best part was it's only his scrotum, not his balls. They saved his balls. They stowed them in his thighs.
Yeah,
for safekeeping. They stitched them up inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Medicine.
As you do, right? And so then they built me a new scrotum and popped me in. And actually, it's not the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but it's not terrible either. And
this is what people always ask when you got a new scrot made out of a skin graft. Does that mean it's like got no hair and is not wrinkly, or?
Well, bizarrely enough, the seam goes the wrong way round.
Oh, so instead of going down, it goes across.
It goes across.
Yeah,
there is hair on it because they cut like a tennis ball shape out of my leg and folded it up and stitched it up and then and then popped it, you know, and then away you go. And unfortunately, the leg with the steak cut out of it had to have skin grafts on it. and that took a long time to heal. And I'm back with us. Unfortunately, I died twice during the first week, which was, you know, inconvenient for everyone.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry. Again, you could seriously. It's really worth watching. It's about a 1 hour stage show. You can get. We put the whole thing on YouTube. Videoed it. My favorite moment, because I videoed it a few times. So I saw it a few times. My favorite moment is one bit where he talks about the first time he died, and he does the and I died, and the stage goes to black. And I had this girl down the front go, "Oh no!" And then I'm just like, and then it comes up, and I talked to them after the show, and she was really sad. AIDzee died because she got really attached to AIDzee, and now he was dead. And her boyfriend went, "He got better," and she's going, "What do you mean? He's on the stage!" And she had got so taken up in the story that AIDzee's telling in the first person when he said, "And then I died." And she's going, "Oh no, he's dead. Oh no. I didn't want him to die. I wanted him." He got better. And that's how compelling the stage show was. She was so taken along with the story. She was really upset that he died because she wanted him to get better. And it was just like, wow. That's really being taken along with the story there.
Thanks, darling.
Oh, no. Okay. Now, here's the real thing. Making a joke about the $6 million man, we can rebuild him the $6 million ball sack. You worked out with the number of attending people and all the technology they used and just your hospital time, how much did they spend?
$7 million. They spent $7 million. And I was freaking out about this because I was thinking, at the end of this $7 million, basically what is an out of work comedian.
Yeah.
Are you getting taxpayer value?
Yeah.
And I was talking about this to a couple of nurses and a doctor, and I'm a bit freaked out about the money. And they said, don't worry about it, because basically what we're buying is doctor experience, because it's a teaching hospital, and we had lots and lots of students in on this. And basically we had an insurmountable problem that we won. And basically next time these student doctors see an insurmountable problem, they're going to take this experience and go, no, it's not the end of the world. We can do things to fix stuff. We have ways and means of keeping people alive. And so basically they said it's invaluable, because you don't get these cases every day. Usually you get drunken punch-ups, you get car crashes, you get people who have cuts and scrapes and hurts because they fell off ladders or they hurt themselves at home. You get accidents, but you don't get exotic diseases, you don't get tropical diseases, and you don't get full-on experiences where it's right on the edge of survivability. And so basically all these people got all this experience, and they'll take that forward into their doctoring experience, and it's worth the money. I fucking hope so.
Because it's a bit of money. And that's the thing, like, because Fournier's gangrene tends to have a higher mortality rate than Ebola. Like, it's got like about 95% mortality rate. So this intern who let slip within AIDzee's hearing, we normally only get this on the slab. It's so rare to treat someone with a degree, because like if you'd got in the hospital 6 hours later, you would have been dead.
I would have been dead.
So the fine line to actually getting someone, and so it wasn't just you. He was a fucking sideshow. It was amazing. It was like non-stop trainees, because they're seeing something they'll never see again probably. But the top professors and surgeons were there as well. The guys who charge $1,000 an hour were there because this is unique. They're getting to do this. And after all the emergency stuff, which they didn't expect him to survive, and he did, and they were pretty freaking amazed by that. So they're just coming in to poke him all the time.
Well done, you.
And so he was a bloody teachable moment, essentially.
Yeah.
A unique experiment and a unique experience for all the medical staff.
And they had this big debate about how they were going to reconstruct the scrotum, and they came up with a solution that was going to take longer, but was going to be more immediate, and it worked brilliantly. It worked really, really well.
Yeah.
There was a few complications. You know, I
mean, like, you wore a kilt for a year, and
my year without.
Yeah, definitely no pants. You don't want anything chafing down there while it was all trying to do it. So yeah. So look, we're like 3 hours in now. That's as good a note as any to finish on.
Yes. Hey,
but the man's back, so we'll be seeing him more.
And also, I just want to reiterate, I am going to hell, but he didn't do it. I did it, and I did it before I met him.
Oh yeah, like you were actually worse before I knew you than you are now, even.
I am way more.
As a teenager, you were terrible.
I was bloody really bad.
Yeah.
Really very bad. Yeah. And in fact, well, look, one of my early girlfriends said, "Love is not free. There is no such thing as free love." And that was after I got caught having 5 boyfriends and girlfriends at once.
Yeah.
And I knew I was in trouble because I came into the uni bar and they were all sitting around the same table looking at me, and I've gone, I could be in shit here.
Yeah, there could be an issue.
Now, look, honestly, the thing about anything that you do with another person is honesty. Honesty is the key. It is the key. You can pretty much do anything you want, but be honest. Just be honest. You know, I like that other person. Well, bloody join in. Get the one that you're with and say, let's both. You know, because 4 times out of 5 they'll go yes. So honesty. So what I'd done was I'd sort of said to each of them that they might have been the only one. Bad.
No, that's where it's all going to fall down. And this was a closed environment as well. Thinking that you'd get away with it in such a closed environment,
which is stupid in its own way, and it was bad. It was a wrong thing to do, and I got caught. And the issues. Oh man. 2 of them said they'd never speak to me again, and 3 of them said, right, well, we're going to divide him up. And I was
have a part each.
I was like ping-ponging between people for 4 months before I finally said, I can't keep doing this. I can't. Every day I'm supposed to, I can't keep. And so basically, yes, I was released from my punishment. But be honest, and you can do pretty much anything you want. And you'll be pretty right. Remember, look, it's the person. It's the person. You know, you look, there's so many heterosexuals out there and they're only attracted to the people of the opposite gender. You know what? That's great. It takes 2 of them to make one of us anyway. So that's great. But remember, always in affairs of love, the person comes first. The other stuff comes next. You can always work out the genitalia bit afterwards, always, regardless of how that all works out, but the person comes first. You've got to feel for the person, and then everything else will flow, nice words, nice exposed, choice words, will flow neatly after that.
So we'll leave you with that philosophy. Hell, John's brought up a story for another time. At 24, you got into a bank vault. If you're in a live stream, we'll go into that and find out what happened there. I'm intrigued. But that's something to look forward to for another live stream.
Absolutely.
So thank you, everyone. This has like been 3 hours and time has flown. I had an awesome time. Look, yeah, do the old thumbs up thing on the way out to try and fool the Google algorithm into we're popular and more people will see it.
Yeah.
And we'll be back again soon. And yeah, we had a good time, and we'll see you all sometime later. Bye bye.
Thanks, bye. See yous.